Chapter 126. Tsinghui, you're here. Let me introduce you. This is Lord Zhuo Wuchang from Dragon Whale City. In the living room, Dan Taiying saw Tsinghui and Dan Taiyu arrive and hurriedly stood up to introduce them. You're Tsinghui? Zhuo Wuchang, who was originally sitting, stood up and looked at Tsinghui. After sizing him up, he nodded. Yes, it's you. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for offending someone you can't afford to offend. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhuo Wuchang brazenly stepped forward. Aura Qi gushed out from his body and poured into the sharp claws on his hands. With a claw, the air in the air was torn apart by his body. The terrifying speed of the claw caused the tables and chairs in the living room to fly. Ha! Tsinghui felt that something was wrong when Zhuo Wuchang specifically said that he wanted to meet him. He was on guard. When Zhuo Wuchang made his move, he was the first to react. The Crimson Dragon sword in his hand was unsheathed at a speed not slower than Zhuo Wuchang's. Clang! Sword Qi soared to the sky. The moment the Crimson Dragon sword was unsheathed, it was like a volcanic eruption. Fiery red sword Qi shot out from the scabbard at the same time, stunning the living room. In an instant, it turned into a blazing sword shadow that met Zhuo Wuchang's claw. The sword and the claw clashed, and a burst of dazzling sparks appeared in the void. Bursts of sword Qi shot out in all directions, instantly tearing the tables and chairs that were sent flying into pieces. Even the sturdy floor was scratched with sword marks. The power of your Qi is due to this sword? Good sword. This sword, I want it. Seeing that Tsinghui had actually blocked his claw, Zhuo Wuchang's eyes flashed. He once again pounced, trying to close the distance between the two. Seeing this scene, Dan Taiying was shocked. What's going on? Dan Ting, Tsinghui is someone that the country lord personally ordered to be killed. Immediately order the spirit-refining cultivators of Beihai City to lock down the city lord's mansion. Do not let him escape. Zhuo Wuchang roared and pounced in front of Tsinghui. His sharp claws tore through the void, creating a series of phantoms. A large amount of Gang Qi was activated as he tore through the void, strangling Tsinghui's figure. Even though Tsinghui's sword was extremely fast, he was still forced to retreat. Otherwise, once Zhuo Wuchang, who uses short weapons, gets close, victory and defeat had been decided. Sister, damn it. Zhuo Wuchang is here for Tsinghui. Dan Taiying's face turned cold. However, her reaction was not slow. When she thought of the various miracles Tsinghui had displayed along the way, she decided to take a gamble like never before. Just as Zhuo Wuchang was about to close in on Tsinghui, she suddenly unsheathed her sword. Clang! The sword light was graceful. Zhuo Wuchang, who was about to bypass Tsinghui and attack Tsinghui with his Crimson Dragon sword, felt a biting cold sword light stabbing towards him. Before the sword arrived, the sharp intent had already caused a chill to run down his spine, forcing him to hurriedly turn around and grab the sword edge. Dan Taiying, you have guts to attack me. Are you trying to rebel? Zhuo Wuchang saw that the advantage he had just formed was once again lost and was unable to restrain his anger. However, Tan Taiyin paid no attention to him. She immediately ordered Tan Taiyu, gather all the experts in North Sea City who are above the true energy realm. Surround and kill him. At the same time, prepare to activate Beihai City's defensive cannons. Yes. In the end, Dan Taiyu was the third miss of the Dan Tai family. After the initial shock, she quickly reacted and ran out. Good. Your Tan Tai clan is truly courting death. After I kill this kid, I'll definitely return to Northern Sea City and annihilate your Tan Tai clan until not a single one is left. Zhuo Wuchang was extremely furious. To the side, Tsinghui was also very surprised. He hadn't expected that Dan Taiying would actually choose to stand on the same side as him in the face of such a powerful enemy like Dragon Whale Island's steward Zhuo Wuchang. However, now was clearly not the time to think about these details. I have no enmity with the island master. Why would he want to kill me? The island master has no enmity with you, but he was entrusted by someone, but there's no point in telling you this. A dead man doesn't need to know too much. Dead man? Wait until you can kill me first. As long as I don't die today, Your Dragon Whale Island will be destroyed when I return with great cultivation." With that, Qing Su leapt up and charged out of the courtyard in a single instance. Afterwards, he rushed out of the city lord's estate as quickly as he could. "Want to escape? Can you escape?" Zhuo Wuchang's expression changed. He knew that Xing Hui had obtained many treasures. If he really converted those treasures into strength, he might really become a problem. He immediately chased after Xing Hui out of the courtyard. "Assist the upper foreign delegates of Qing Su ruins and stop them." Dan Tang chased out of the hall and shouted at the guards who had heard the commotion. "No need." Xing Hui's voice sounded, and in the next moment he disappeared in front of Dan Tang. Without the guards blocking him, Zhuo Wuchang's speed exploded as he chased after Xing Hui and disappeared without a trace. "Damn it, big sister." Dan Taiyu saw that Dan Taiying was about to follow and hurriedly said, "Big sister, don't worry. Prince Xing Hui has a way to save his life." "Huh?" Dan Taiying was slightly startled, and there was a trace of surprise on her face, but she didn't slow down at all. "It seems that I made the right bet. Xing Hui really has other tricks up his sleeve, right? Tricks that can deal with experts of the syncretism of spirit and chi realm, right?" "Big sister," seeing that Tan Taiyin did not stop, Tan Taiyu had no choice but to quickly follow up. "Let's not go over. We won't be of much help even if we go over. If he really reveals all his abilities, he will be able to resolve this crisis." "Silly girl, what do you know? It's because he can solve this crisis that we have to go there as fast as possible. We have to show him the sincerity of the Dan Tai family. For him, we have to stand behind him even if we have to fight against the entire Dragon Whale country. Only then can he really remember the kindness of the Dan Tai family. From now on, we will tie ourselves to his chariot and travel 1,000 miles in a day." Dan Taiyu was slightly startled. Obviously, she didn't expect that her big sister was chasing after him for this reason. While she was absent-minded, Dan Taiying had already rushed dozens of meters away. Dan Taiyu didn't have time to think about it anymore. She had to call out again, "Big sister, wait for me." Zhuo Wuchang and Xing Hui were both top-notch figures in the sea. With one chasing and the other fleeing at full speed, their speed wasn't any slower than a warship. In the blink of an eye, they had passed through a small part of North Sea City and rushed to the outside of the city. However, Zhuo Wuchang was an expert of the syncretism of spirit and chi realm after all. His speed, physical strength, and endurance were not something that Xing Hui could compare with. When Xing Hui burst out at full speed, he could still keep up with Zhuo Wuchang by constantly changing directions. However, when this burst of true chi ended, the distance between them was rapidly shortened. If it weren't for Zhuo Wuchang's altar and the sword chi of the Crimson Dragon sword in his hand, he would have been caught up by Zhuo Wuchang. "Boy, let's see where you can run." Zhuo Wuchang growled and chased after him. Although the Crimson Dragon sword in Xing Hui's hand made him feel apprehensive, making a target that he could have easily killed difficult to deal with, there wasn't the slightest hint of trouble on his face. Instead, his eyes were shining. A divine weapon. A divine weapon of at least the 5th level. Even if this divine weapon was incompatible with the claw art he cultivated, it would still fetch a sky-high price if he sold it. Just for this divine weapon, this Cho Xing Hui had to die today. Xing Hui, who was running wildly ahead, saw Zhuo Wuchang chasing after him, and his expression gradually turned cold. He didn't understand why the Dragon Whale Island Lord wanted to kill him for no reason, but because of the existence of the Dragon Whale Island Lord, he couldn't directly kill Zhuo Wuchang with divine arts. Otherwise, once Zhuo Wuchang died and the Dragon Whale Island Lord came personally, he would have no choice but to flee. He was fine if he was alone, but the Dan Tai clan, who had blocked Zhuo Wuchang's path and were clearly on his side, would be in trouble. Especially since Dan Tating and Dan Taiying were in Dragon Whale City, he couldn't take the Dan Tai clan with him even if he wanted to. Therefore, the best way was to leave the divine arts to the Dragon Whale Island Lord. And Zhuo Wuchang in front of him, swish. Xing Hui's figure was as fast as lightning in the wilderness. From time to time, he would turn around and slash with his sword. Sword chi would erupt, and the crimson sword light would shoot out like rays of laser light, forcing Zhuo Wuchang, who had finally caught up with him, to wave his hand and counterattack. His figure slowed down, and the distance between them widened again. The two of them chased and fled like this. In the blink of an eye, they had already traveled over 100 kilometers, and a small lake suddenly appeared in front of them. Boy, you can't escape. Your chi isn't weak, but in terms of endurance, how can it compare to me, a spirit and chi unity stage expert? Surrender obediently, and I can give you a quick death. Otherwise, once you fall into my hands, I'll let you know what it means to beg for death. Zhuo Wuchang, who asked your Dragon Whale Island to kill me? There's no harm in telling you. The Hunyuan Heaven Sect sent Zhang Jiuxiao to ask the Island Lord to kill you. Hunyuan Heaven Sect's true disciple. You don't have much ability, but you entered a good sect and are rich. Remember to find a reliable backer in your next life. Xiang. After Zhuo Wuchang finished speaking, he took advantage of Tsing Hui's slight distraction when he learned about the person who wanted to kill him to activate a secret technique. His speed exploded, and he inconceivably crossed the distance of 30 to 40 meters between the two of them. A claw that tore through the void brazenly slashed down. Eagle whistle. Starfire flowing light. Bang. Blazing flames exploded in the void once again. Shockwaves that could be seen with the naked eye swept out and turned into raging flames, burning the flowers and plants on the ground to ashes. As the flames scattered, Tsing Hui's body flew backward, 3 streaks of blood appearing on his chest. Eagle soars 100 li. However, the moment Qing Su was sent flying, a long whistle rang out right after. Zhuo Wuchang strode through the air as if he had shrunk the ground, catching up to Qing Su in a single instance. He slammed his hand down heavily once again, tearing through space. Bang! Metal and iron clashed. Tsing Hui was sent flying again, and he borrowed the force to twist his body and plunge into the lake. Foolish beyond compare. Your fire attribute stellar energy can still fight with me on the shore, but now you're trying to escape into the lake? You're courting death. Zhuo Wuchang roared out. In the next moment he actually followed Qing Su closely and charged into the lake. And then, there was no then. Chapter 127. Just as Zhuo Wuchang chased Tsing Hui into the lake, a behemoth hidden in the depths of the lake brazenly bit out. This is... Zhuo Wuchang, who had just entered the water, felt his mind go blank when he saw the behemoth abruptly emerge from the bottom of the lake. The violent shock impacted his mind, and he wished his brain could explode. Xuanwu! Xuanwu! This is... one of the 6 saints, Xuanwu. No. As Zhuo Wuchang screamed in shock, the powerful water control caused the water pressure around him to soar to the extreme, and he couldn't move at all. Chi. The next moment, the giant python behind Xuanwu had already bitten his body. Blood immediately dyed the bottom of the lake red. Voila! Waves splashed. Tsing Hui's figure followed closely into the lake. Seeing that Xuanwu had already bitten Zhuo Wuchang to death, his emotions didn't fluctuate too much. This wasn't the first time a unity of spirit stage expert had died in front of him. Moreover, Tsing Hui, who had many trump cards, had never regarded Zhuo Wuchang as a real threat. Not to mention the divine art he could use, just the superior level 4 flying sword, Azure Mystic, was enough to make him invincible. Bu is really like a ghost. I've already temporarily hidden overseas, but she still chased after me. She even asked the Dragon Whale Island Lord to kill me. Does she really think that I won't dare to kill her just because she's a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven Sect? Tsing Hui's expression gradually turned cold, and he immediately made up his mind. After dealing with the Dragon Whale Island Lord, he would directly go inland and use Nayland phase channels to exchange for some fire spirit crystals and then kill Bu once and for all. As for the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's pursuit, overseas, the heavens were high and the Emperor was far away. They couldn't care that far. Boss, I'm bored to death staying in this small lake. I'm still a baby and I'm still growing. At this time, I need to exercise more. I need to swim in the sea and hunt for sea creatures to train my body. Only then can I grow faster. Otherwise, that's right. The pitiful voice of Xuanwu Cub came from below. However, Tsing Hui couldn't be bothered to listen to its nonsense. I'll allow you to swim to the lake outside North Sea City. That lake is a little bigger than this one, and you can stay there. No, no, I want to go to the ocean. The ocean is the home of us holy beasts. I'm not a tortoise, or a turtle. Why should I stay in a small pond inland? If you keep talking nonsense, I'll kill you and refine your blood essence. Xing Hui reprimanded Xuanwu cub. He had already understood that this Xuanwu cub had obviously been led astray by some sea beasts. It was the kind of person who wouldn't stop until it was beaten. Following his reprimand, the Xuanwu cub immediately became obedient. It just looked at Xing Hui with a pitiful expression, as if it wanted to cry but didn't dare to. It was as if Xing Hui had done something to it that would incur the wrath of heaven and man. Go to the lake. I'll tell you if there's anything else. At this time, Xing Hui also regretted not killing the Xuanwu cub to refine its blood essence. After all, a level 4 Xuanwu wouldn't be of much help to him. If he wanted to wait for it to evolve to level 5, it would take at least 20 to 30 years. After 20 to 30 years, not to mention a level 4 Xuanwu, even if a level 6 or level 7 Overlord of the Sea came, he might not be able to take it seriously. The Xuanwu cub seemed to have sensed Xing Hui's thoughts through the contract. Its originally pitiful appearance immediately disappeared, and it hurriedly swore solemnly, "Boss's words are a task that I'll do my best to complete. If boss tells me to go west, I won't go east. If boss tells me to be a vegetarian, I won't eat people. I'll go to the lake now." As soon as he finished speaking, he dived into the lake and disappeared. Xing Hui went forward and checked the spoils of war. Storage treasures were only widely available in the Saint Realm. Zhuo Wuchang was at the syncretism of spirit and chi stage, and he was also an overseas cultivator who had nowhere else to go. Naturally, it was impossible for him to have such a treasure. Apart from a level 4 god weapon Sharp Claw and a level 3 medium soft armor, he didn't have anything good. As for the level 3 medium soft armor, it had been completely destroyed by the Xuanwu cub's bite. A level 4 god weapon. If I sell it, it's worth about 300,000 spirit stones. If I exchange it for spirit stones, it's worth about 2,000 spirit stones. Xing Hui put the god weapon into his personal space and turned to head in the direction of North Sea City. After traveling less than 10 kilometers, he saw two people coming quickly, one in front and one behind. When the two of them arrived, more than 30 figures appeared behind them. They were Dan Ting and Dan Taiyu, leading a group of true energy stage cultivators to support them. Xing Hui's gaze swept across these people. Although these true energy stage cultivators were of no use in a battle between syncretism of spirit and chi stage cultivators, and the sword chi that spilled out could kill them, but Xing Hui more or less understood Dan Taiying's thoughts. This Dan Tai has some guts. The pressure from the Dragon Whale Island Lord is not so easy to resist. After saying that, Xing Hui couldn't help but have an idea in his mind. After killing Bai Yu, it wouldn't be good for him to stay on the mainland. Moreover, he had to find a safe place to settle down overseas. Before killing Bai Yu, he still had to go to Dragon Whale City to kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord. Once the Dragon Whale Island Lord died, this island would immediately become ownerless. I'll choose Dragon Whale Island then. I don't have much time to think about managing Dragon Whale Island. I'll let the Dan Tai clan take full responsibility. With that thought, Xing Hui went up to Dan Ting and Dan Taiyu. "Xing Hui, are you alright? Are you injured?" Dan Taiying didn't ask about Zhuo Wuchang first. Instead, he was concerned about Xing Hui. On the other hand, Dan Taiyu seemed to think of something when she saw this familiar place, and her eyes lit up slightly. "I'm fine. Alright, there's no need to mobilize so many people to avoid causing a commotion in North Sea City." Since Xing Hui had already decided to head to Dragon Whale City to kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord, there was no need to hide his true strength anymore. He immediately said, "I've already killed Zhuo Wuchang. You can just return. You don't need to worry about anything here. I'll make a trip to Dragon Whale City and kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord again to solve the problem of Dragon Whale Island once and for all." Zhuo Wuchang is dead? Head to Dragon Whale City to kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord? Although Dan Taiying had guessed that Xing Hui's true strength wasn't limited to this, she still couldn't help but gasp when he revealed his true strength. The Dragon Whale Island Lord. That was the Dragon Whale Island Lord ranked 633rd on the Divine Dragon ranking. However, Based on Tsing Hui's tone earlier, this mighty Unity of God realm expert, ranked 633rd on the Divine Dragon ranking, seemed to be able to kill him just like that? If this was true, then just how powerful was he? North Sea City actually got to know such a god by chance. Oh right, I remember that other than Zhuo Wuchang, there's another Divine Dragon Whale Island Lord who's at Wave City. Is there a way for him to head to Dragon Whale City with us? The City Lord of Billow City? If you can really kill the Lord of Dragon Whale Island, Sir Ching Su, your strength must be extraordinary. If that's the case, it won't be a problem to kill Yun Tao Enlightened Master. As Dan Taiying spoke, she no longer dared to address Tsing Hui as casually as before. Although Enlightened Master Yun Tao is one of the 3 Divine Dragon Whale Island Lords, he doesn't have much of a sense of belonging to Dragon Whale Island. No matter who occupies this island, as long as they don't infringe on his interests, he won't interfere. Moreover, he awakened the rare plant soul, so he's not much of a threat. Plant soul? Plants can also be considered a type of bloodline? Among the 18 divine beast bloodlines, 6 of them are plants and mystical creatures. However, the number of people who awaken these bloodlines is too small, less than 1 in 10,000. This is also the reason why some people say there are only 12 types of divine beast bloodlines. Dan Taiying added, because these bloodlines aren't good at killing, many of them have already gone extinct. There are only records of them in history. Ching Su nodded when he heard that. If Enlightened Master Yun Tao really wasn't a threat, there was no harm in letting him go. If he was a threat, at most, he would have to wait for half a month for the divine art to cool down. Fine, I'll head to Dragon Whale City now. As soon as Ching Su said that, he waved his hand and summoned his flying sword. Flying sword? Seeing the Qingshen sword hovering in front of Tsing Hui, Dan Taiying felt that Tsing Hui was even more unfathomable. However, she seemed to have thought of something and gritted her teeth. Prince Tsing Hui plans to head to Dragon Whale City on his flying sword? That's right. Zhuo Wuchang is already dead. To prevent the Dragon Whale Island Lord from escaping in advance, I naturally have to go. Young master, please bring me along. Tsing Hui's gaze landed on Dan Taiying. It's a critical period for Dragon Whale Island's treasure offering assembly. I'm afraid that apart from Enlightened Master Yun Tao, all the other city lords of Dragon Whale Island are in Dragon Whale City. If Prince Tsing Hui can kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord, he only needs to create some momentum to control the entire Dragon Whale Island and become the new ruler of Dragon Whale Island. Our North Sea City is willing to follow Prince Tsing Hui everywhere and cheer for Prince Tsing Hui. You want to seize the opportunity to control Dragon Whale Island, right? Tsing Hui immediately saw through Dan Taiying's true thoughts. After spending some time together, he already had a good understanding of Dan Tai's 2 sisters. The younger sister, Dan Taiyu, was inexperienced and still retained the innocence of a young girl. However, the older sister, Dan T, she was quite impressive. If she had a son and was given the opportunity to rise, she would definitely become a formidable person. However, he, who wanted to control Dragon Whale Island, needed such ambitious and capable people. Prince Tsing Hui, our Dan Tai clan knows our limits. Our Dan Tai clan definitely isn't qualified to become the ruler of Dragon Whale Island. The only one who can sit firmly on the throne of Dragon Whale Island is Prince Tsing Hui. Our Dan Tai clan only wants to be Prince Tsing Hui's vassals. Fine. Since you've asked, I'll bring you to Dragon Whale City. The nearby Dan Taiyu, upon seeing this, felt rather confused. Why did it seem that in such a short period of time, her older sister, Dan Ting, had already led the entire Dan Tai clan to join Tsing Hui? To join this man who had just been an upper guest elder of their Dan Tai clan not long ago? The situation had changed too quickly, so quickly that she couldn't react in time. Time was of the essence, and Dan Taiying didn't explain too much to his younger sister. He only instructed, younger sister, bring Beigong Xiu and the others back to North Sea City and maintain order in North Sea City to prevent anyone from taking the opportunity to cause trouble. I'll follow Prince Tsing Hui to Dragon Whale City now. The future of our Dan Tai clan will be bet on this trip to Dragon Whale City. Chapter 128. City Lord, something's wrong. Dragon Whale City, Dan Tating's courtyard. Wu Yu came to Dan Tating's room with a solemn expression. I just walked around and found that the guards of our courtyard have changed from 2 True Chi Realm Captains and 10 Awakening Realm Guards to 4 Spirit Refining Realm and 20 True Chi Realm Experts. Moreover, I know one of the 4 Spirit Refining Realm Experts. His name is Wan Bo, and he's a Zhenhai guard personally trained by the Dragon Whale Emperor. You mean, we might be under surveillance? How is that possible? This is the capital of the Dragon Whale Empire. Who dares to be rude to me, Dan Tating, a governor? Before Dan Tating could finish his words, he seemed to have thought of something. His expression changed. Zhenhai guard personally trained by the Dragon Whale Emperor. Are you saying that the one who wants to deal with me is the Dragon Whale Emperor? I also find it hard to believe. Not long ago, I purposely went to the courtyards of the other city lords. There was nothing unusual in those courtyards. Dan Tating's expression suddenly became unsightly. The Dragon Whale Emperor wants to deal with me? How is that possible? I didn't offend the Dragon Whale Emperor in any way. I should pay the same amount of taxes every time. This time, in order to get first place in the Treasure Presentation Assembly, I even tried to buy a space nether stone. Why would the Emperor want to deal with me? No, I have to go and ask. Master, please calm down. I might have seen wrongly. Wu Yu hurriedly said. At this time, Dan Taing walked in from outside and said strangely, Father, when I was about to leave the courtyard to visit a good friend, I was told by the guards that a vicious person had sneaked into the Dragon Whale City with evil intentions. Those guards forbade us from leaving the courtyard. Even if we want to leave, we have to be followed by them personally. What happened? Hearing Dan Taing's words, Wu Yu and Dan Tating, who thought that there might be a misunderstanding, both darkened their faces. The monarch has indeed sent someone to spy on us. But why is that? This won't do. Wu Yu, go and investigate what's going on. Good. I'm on my way. Wu Yu responded cautiously before heading out of the courtyard. But at this moment, a long sword pierced through the air. A dazzling streak of sword light pierced through Dragon Whale City like a rainbow piercing through the sun. In the blink of an eye, it was in the direction of the city lord's manor. Standing in the air, the figure on the graceful sword raised his divine sword and slashed down. The dazzling sword light turned into a dazzling radiance that pierced through the core area of the Longjing city lord's mansion. Under the onslaught of the sword chi, the originally majestic mansion of the city lord's mansion only lasted for a moment before collapsing. Dragon Whale Island Master, come out and accept your death. With a slash of his sword, the figure standing in the air let out a long howl. His voice traveled hundreds of miles, shocking all the cultivators in Dragon Whale City. Who is it? They actually killed their way to Dragon Whale Island? Standing in the air. A Green Hell Realm warrior? It was a flying sword. Someone was actually riding a flying sword? Could it be that the Dragon Whale Island Master offended some great figure? SSS, destroying the City Lord's mansion with a single slash. Is he trying to fight to the death with the Dragon Whale Island Master? Spirit Refining and True Chi Realm cultivators rushed out of their courtyards one after another. They stared at the destroyed main hall of the City Lord's estate in shock. This voice, why does it sound like our Beihai City's high guest Tsing Hui? In the courtyard, Dan Tai Eagle heard the shouts in the air and called out in puzzlement. It doesn't seem like it. It's our Beihai City's Tsing Hui King. Not only Tsing Hui King, eldest Miss is also here. She and Tsing Hui King are standing in the air together. Outside the courtyard, Wu Yu's incredulous voice could be heard. Dan Tating and Dan Tai Eagle were slightly startled. In the next moment, the two of them rushed out at the same time, just in time to see Tsing Hui and Dan Taing in the air. For a moment, their faces turned green with fright. Crazy. Crazy. Tsing Hui, is he crazy? It's fine if he's crazy, but he actually brought our Dan Tai clan with him. It's over. It's over. Now that we've offended the Dragon Whale Island Master, our Dan Tai clan is completely finished. Dan Tai Eagle looked at Tsing Hui in the air and gritted his teeth. His face was filled with panic and fear. No wonder the Lord of Longjing City sent people to monitor our courtyard. The only thing we can do now is to take advantage of the fact that the Lord of Longjing Island and the others are distracted by him and kill our way out of the encirclement as quickly as possible. Every single one of us who can escape is one life. Our Tantai clan cannot be exterminated in my hands. Although Dan Tating's face was filled with hatred, he was decisive. On the other hand, Wu Yu looked at Xing Hui and Dan Taing, who didn't seem to be panicking at all. Instead, there was a trace of excitement on his face. He hurriedly stopped them and said, "Wait a moment, things might not be as bad as we think. Eldest Miss isn't an impulsive person. If there wasn't a special reason, she wouldn't have followed Xing Hui to Dragon Whale City." Dan Tating naturally knew his eldest daughter well. It was just that the scene just now had a huge impact on him, causing him to lose his composure for a moment. Now that he had calmed down and thought about it carefully, his eyes immediately lit up. The corpse of that Class 4 half-saint beast, Jiao Ying, came about strangely. "I asked you, but you was unwilling to give me an explanation. Don't tell me, this Qing Su is actually a colossal figure who has been hiding his strength all this while, someone who possesses the strength to kill a Class 4 half-saint beast, Jiao Ying?" Rumble. Right at this moment, a round ball suddenly soared into the air and exploded, turning into a transparent barrier that enveloped Xing Hui and a small portion of the city master's mansion. In the next moment, the Dragon Whale Island Lord exerted force on his feet and shot out of the city master's mansion like an arrow. Before he arrived, the terrifying and majestic aura of a unity of divine Qi expert had already swept out violently. As he clenched his fist, a terrifying giant beast appeared in the air. It seemed capable of swallowing the world, and the airflow in the air was about to explode and shatter. "Junior, how dare you behave so atrociously in my Dragon Whale City? Do you really think that I can't do anything to you just because you have a flying sword?" The Dragon Whale Island Lord roared with a majestic aura. However, before his strike that could shatter space could completely crush Qing Su, a presence that was even more terrifying than the Lord of Dragon Whale Island himself erupted from his body. Clang. The moment he used the divine art, Xing Hui raised the crimson dragon sword in his hand. Caw! There seemed to be the cry of a divine beast in the air. Behind Xing Hui, a golden crow spread its wings. Scorching and domineering waves of heat exploded in the form of light, illuminating the surrounding dozens of li. In everyone's eyes, it was as if a blazing sun was slowly rising. Golden Crow. Golden Crow. It's the great sun Golden Crow? Shouts that were far more intense than before suddenly erupted from the crowd. Heavens, what kind of technique does this person cultivate to be able to summon the Golden Crow? Could it be the supreme technique of the Jin Wu religion, the Great Sun Golden Crow technique? This kind of power is something that only divine-grade stellar energy cultivators can possess. No matter how powerful the Dragon Whale Island Lord's cultivation is, how can he contend with a top genius who is worthy of being called a holy son by the 10 great sacred sects? It's over. The Dragon Whale Island Lord is finished. No. The Dragon Whale Island Lord, who had wanted to charge out to show off his might, turned pale when he saw Xing Hui use such a terrifying killing move. Damn it, this is a true Qi cultivator? Zhang Jiuxiao, you dare to harm me? Rumble. A moment later, Xing Hui's golden crow sword erupted like a blazing sun. Boundless golden light instantly dispersed the Dragon Whale Island Lord's Dragon Whale Island Lord's Dragon Whale Island Lord's divine ability that had sealed the space around him. One sword, shattering all laws. Not only that, after this sword tore apart the Dragon Whale Island Lord's spatial shredding and shattered the Dragon Whale Island Lord's essence, energy, and soul, it continued onward. The vast destructive power contained within it was like the end of the world as it enveloped the Dragon Whale Island Lord. Boom! Sparks exploded. The Dragon Whale Island Lord's stellar energy dissipated, his armor shattered, and he crashed into the ground like a cannonball. The ground around him seemed to be the surface of a lake that had a pebble thrown into it. It sank slightly, and then it suddenly tore apart, sweeping up dust and pebbles in all directions. Having gained the upper hand, Xing Hui did not give the Dragon Whale Island Lord any time to catch his breath. He became one with his sword and stabbed down. The crimson dragon sword's sword light tore through the dust and once more tore apart the ground. Stop! Stop! The dragon whale island lord spat out a mouthful of blood as he weakly called out. A terrifying sword mark had slashed his body just now, almost cutting him into two. Tsing Hui remained unmoved. He leaped forward and landed in front of the dragon whale island lord. Don't kill me. I have no enmity with you. I only did what I was asked to do. Zhang Jiuxiao used the Black Hole Sutra's Awakening chapter to invite me, which is why I offended you. If I had known that Lord Tsing Hui had such ability, I would not have dared to offend you even if I had 10,000 guts. Zhang Jiuxiao is in my residence. I am willing to personally kill him, and then I will use all my wealth to apologize to you. Swish. Before the Dragon Whale Island Lord could finish speaking, Tsing Hui suddenly attacked with his sword. Under his terrified, stunned, and unwilling gaze, the Dragon Whale Island Lord's begging came to an abrupt end. Take care of this, Tsing Hui said to Dan Ting, then leaped into the air and charged towards the city lord's residence. Before the effects of the divine art ended, he needed to use his absolute strength to suppress all discontent on Dragon Whale City. When Tan Tai Yin saw how the island lord had been slain by a single strike of Qing Su's sword, she felt all her blood boil at the same time. She could not help but blush with a sense of comfort she had never felt before. The Dragon Whale Island Lord was dead. He had died at Tsing Hui's hands. From this day onwards, Dragon Whale Island belonged to Tsing Hui. Because she had chosen to side with him in time, the Dantai family was now completely tied to Tsing Hui. If Dragon Whale Island belonged to Tsing Hui, it was the same as belonging to the Dantai family. When the time came, the Dantai family would become the largest family on Dragon Whale Island. Chapter 129. Inga. Big sister. What the hell is going on? Dan Taiying had just collected the valuables on the Dragon Whale Island Lord's body when Dan Tating, Dan Taiying, Wu Yu, and a group of North Sea City experts rushed over to the City Lord's manor. Dan Tating and Wu Yu, who had already guessed something, couldn't suppress the excitement and anticipation on their faces even though they had been through countless storms. Dan Taiying looked at the people from North Sea City. I believe Father and Chief Steward have already guessed what happened. After saying that, she nodded vigorously. It's exactly as you guessed. Dan Tating felt his heart twitch violently. He couldn't help but cover his chest with his hand. Really? The Dragon Whale Island Lord's corpse is even here. How can it be fake? Tan Yin glanced at the Dragon Whale Island Lord who had already breathed his last with excitement on her face. Young Master Qing Su has no relatives or friends on Dragon Whale Island. If he wants to rule Dragon Whale Island completely, he'll have to rely on our North Sea City's strength. Father and the General Manager know better than me what this means. Soon, our North Sea City and our Tantai clan will become an existence that's second only to one and above all on Dragon Whale Island. Good. That's great. Wu Yu couldn't help but say good 3 times in a row. His aged face was filled with excitement. It's a pity that we didn't have time to improve our relationship with Tsing Hui before he truly displayed his value. Otherwise, our Dantai family's future would really be limitless. Dan Taiying was excited for a moment, but also felt a little regretful. Dan Tating was the same. If I had known this would happen, I would have listened to your advice and handed that fire attribute treasure to him. It's not too late for us to express our stance now. Not only do we have to prove our value, we have to do it quickly. Otherwise, when those city lords who have yet to recover from the shock of the change in ownership see the situation clearly, our North Sea City might not be able to hold much of an advantage. After all, there are 4 or 5 factions on Dragon Whale Island that are stronger than our North Sea City. I specially went to look for that treasure that you hid, but I couldn't find it. If we could give that treasure to him before then, our Dantai family's position in Tsing Hui's will definitely be impregnable. However, it's too late to say that now. What we can do is do our best to help Prince Tsing Hui manage Dragon Whale Island well. As long as we can do that, our Dantai family's position on Dragon Whale Island will be unshakable our position on Dragon Whale Island. As long as we can do that, as long as we can, Prince Clan's Dantai, no one will family status on Dragon Whale Islands island families on Prince families that. Not bad. Dan Tatings. This favor could only be considered as giving their North Sea city an early advantage. If they really wanted to stabilize their position, they would have to depend on their North Sea city's performance. Immediately, Dan Tating hurriedly ordered, immediately surround the city lord's mansion. Prince Tsinghui will personally deal with those cultivators that the Dragon Whale Island master trusts the most. However, we can't let the others off either. Immediately send the news to the other city lords. Have them lead their troops to kill those subduing sea guards loyal to the Dragon Whale Island master, as well as Sky Water City and Dragon Roar City. The subduing sea guards, Sky Water City, and Dragon Roar City were all trusted subordinates of the Dragon Whale Island master. Only by eliminating the subduing sea guards and suppressing Sky Water City and Dragon Roar City would they be able to truly unify Dragon Whale Island. I'll personally go and pass the order. Wu Yu said in a deep voice. Go. Many people witnessed the death of the Dragon Whale Island master. It's time for them to make their stance clear. I believe that those city lords will make the right choice between remaining loyal to the Dragon Whale Island master and changing their allegiance to the new island master. Dan Tating sternly ordered. As Dan Tating gave the order, Tsinghui swept through the Dragon Whale Island master's residence with the might of the divine art. As the owner of the Dragon Whale Island, the Dragon Whale Island master's influence was far from what North Sea City could compare to. Just the Dragon Whale Island master's residence alone had more than 40 spirit refining cultivators and hundreds of true qi cultivators serving under him. Unfortunately, ordinary spirit refining cultivators were no match for Tsinghui, who was currently using the divine art. Even if Tsinghui was in his ordinary form, defeating them would only take some time. Under such circumstances, he stepped on the corpses of more than 10 spirit refining cultivators and killed his way to the core of the Dragon Whale Island master's residence. There, Zhang Jiuxiao, who represented Fairy Baiyu, heard the screams coming from outside the Dragon Whale Island master's residence and felt that something was amiss. Just as he was about to escape, Tsinghui's figure leaped and blocked his path. Zhang Jiuxiao? As one of Fairy Baiyu's most capable left and right-hand men, Zhang Jiuxiao had seen his image before. At the same time, Zhang Jiuxiao naturally recognized Tsinghui. Seeing Tsinghui actually appear in front of him, he, who had already guessed that the situation was not good, turned pale with fright. You, how are you fine? The Dragon Whale Island master, didn't the Dragon Whale Island master personally take action? How did you? Since I'm here, there's no need to say what will happen to the Dragon Whale Island master. I didn't go find by you to settle the score, but instead, you delivered yourself to me. You can't blame me. Seeing that even the Dragon Whale Island master was no match for him, Zhang Jiuxiao suddenly trembled and immediately offered up a book. Prince Tsinghui, I'm willing to use the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's sacred scripture, the Black Hole Scripture, to exchange for my life. I ask that Prince Tsinghui be merciful and give me a way out. If Prince Tsinghui is willing to accept me, I, Zhang Jiuxiao, am willing to be at Gongzi's beck and call. I know that Baiyu has many secrets. If Gongzi gives me a chance, I'm willing to hand over all these secrets. When the time comes, Baiyu's reputation will be ruined. Even without Gongzi doing anything, the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's law enforcement division will personally tear her to pieces. Tsinghui's heart stirred. Baiyu would undoubtedly die. But if he killed Baiyu with her identity as a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven Sect, unless he cultivated to the peak of the immortality stage, he would be a wanted criminal when he returned to the mainland. Even the Zhou family and Nayland Fei would be affected to some extent. But if he did as Zhang Jiuxiao said, exposing Baiyu's weakness and causing her reputation to be ruined, the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's law enforcement division would undoubtedly be the easiest and most convenient way. The Black Hole Scripture's Awakening chapter was the best evidence. How can I believe you? When the Dragon Whale Island Lord excavated an ancient ruin, he found a bottle of pills by chance. It's called the Soul Dispersing Pill. This pill can only be activated by injecting a trace of spirit energy into it. Once consumed, it will subtly change a person's thoughts and make them loyal to the person who injected the pill with spirit energy. The Dragon Whale Island Lord relied on this pill to subdue two experts of the same level as him while he was still at the spirit and Qi Unison stage. He also made Zhuo Wuchang loyal to him and willingly serve him. If Yun Tao hadn't awakened a special bloodline and had a strong resistance to pills, he probably would have been reduced to a servant of the Dragon Whale Island Lord. Even so, Yun Tao still has a good impression of the Dragon Whale Island Lord. As long as the Dragon Whale Island Lord's orders aren't too excessive, he'll carry them out faithfully. Speaking of this, Zhang Jiuxiao smiled bitterly and added, 80 years ago, when I was still at the true Qi stage, I once explored the ruins with the Dragon Whale Island Lord, so I understand these things very well. Unfortunately, the Dragon Whale Island Lord at that time relied on his spirit-refining cultivation to occupy all the treasures in the ruins. I estimate that he must have relied on the treasures in the ruins to reach the spirit and Qi unity stage. Oh, so that's how it is. Xing Hui also felt a little strange. Why was the Dragon Whale Island Lord able to make Zhuo Wuchang so loyal even though his cultivation was slightly higher than Zhuo Wuchang's? He originally thought that the rumors were true and that the Dragon Whale Island Lord had saved his life back then. A pill that could change one's consciousness, truly extraordinary. Where is the pill? I'll bring you there now. Zhang Jiuxiao guessed that he had probably managed to survive, so he hurriedly responded politely. He brought Qing Su to the master of the Dragon Whale Island's bedroom, and after searching for a while, he returned with a bottle of pills very soon. There's only 2 left? There were only 5 pills in this bottle when it was unearthed. He obviously used 2 of them on Zhuo Wuchang and Yun Tao. Zhang Jiuxiao's tone became a little lower as he said uneasily, a spirit and Qi unity stage cultivator's soul is strong. Spirit and Qi unity, as well as the heart and spirit, would have some resistance to this kind of pill. I'm guessing that the Dragon Whale Island Lord must have given Zhuo Wuchang 2 spirit-scattering pills, which allowed Zhuo Wuchang to follow his orders without hesitation. Is that so? When Qing Su heard that, he found it rather a pity. Wouldn't it be better if that Dragon Whale Island Lord had taken out this elixir earlier? At that time, Mo Wuji might have spared his life. In any case, Mo Wuji was a spirit and Qi unity realm expert. With him overseeing the Dragon Whale Island, it would be much safer than letting the Tantai clan rule over the Dragon Whale Island. Alright, I won't let you take the pill. Quite a few people know that you brought the Black Hole Sutra to Long Whale Island in an attempt to give it to the island master. Once this matter is leaked, the Hunyuan Heaven sect won't take this lying down. At that time, regardless of whether you secretly read the Black Hole Sutra or not, they'll definitely send a law enforcement elder to hunt you down. If you don't want to die, you'd better behave. Yes. I understand. I, Zhang Jiuxiao, am only siding with Bai Yu for the sake of my future. I want to obtain resources and better cultivation from her. Now that young Master Qing Su has taken over Dragon Whale Island, he's already a ruler. He's already accomplished so much at such a young age, so his future is limitless. Following young Master Qing Su might even become the greatest fortuitous encounter of my life. Under these circumstances, as long as I'm not blind, I definitely won't be disloyal to young Master Qing Su. Zhang Jiuxiao solemnly vowed, please rest assured, Prince Xing Hui. Time will prove my loyalty. Is that so? I hope you won't disappoint me. Xing Hui naturally wouldn't believe any of Zhang Jiuxiao's words. However, Zhang Jiuxiao still had some value that he could make use of. As for not letting Zhang Jiuxiao take the soul-dispersing pill, it would be a pity to waste such a pill that could control a spirit and Qi unity stage expert on a spirit-refining cultivator like Zhang Jiuxiao. Chapter 130. City Lord Mansion Side Hall. Xing Hui slowly walked into the hall that had been cleaned up. In an instant, the spirit-refining cultivators who were originally sitting in the hall stood up. All kinds of surprised, respectful and fearful gazes landed on him. Fellow colleagues, this is Prince Xing Hui, the new lord of this country. It was him who killed the Dragon Whale Island's lord not long ago, saving everyone from the dark and cruel rule of the Dragon Whale Island's lord. As Xing Hui sat down, Dan Tating introduced Xing Hui's identity. Although these city lords could see that Xing Hui was young and did not seem like an expert, Many of them had seen Tsing Hui's incomparably high-profile feat of riding on a flying sword and killing the Dragon Whale Island's lord. Even if they were shocked by his young age, they did not dare to delay and quickly bowed. Greetings to Prince Tsing Hui. Many thanks to Prince Tsing Hui for saving me. Seeing more than half of the city lords bowing, in addition to the spirit-refining cultivators who had witnessed the battle, the other city lords quickly suppressed the doubts in their hearts and bowed. Tsing Hui's gaze swept across these city lords and spirit-refining cultivators. Those who had witnessed the scene of him killing the Dragon Whale Island's lord hurriedly lowered their heads. Their hearts were filled with reverence, not daring to look at him. However, there were still more than half of them who had not experienced that scene and were curious. A few of them even had a hint of arrogance in their eyes. However, Tsing Hui did not have the intention to waste more time on them. If he had to do everything personally, then what was the point of having Dan Tai's family members? I will not say any superfluous words. How it was before, how it is now. After finishing his words, Tsing Hui's gaze landed on Dan Tating. After a moment, he looked back at Dan Taing. Compared to the overcautious Dan Tating, he actually admired Dan Taing more. Dan Taing will be in charge of the City Lord's mansion. You can move to Dragon Whale City. Thank you, Island Master. Dan Taing will definitely live up to Island Master's expectations. Dan Taing stepped forward excitedly and promised. As for Dan Tating, although he was a little disappointed, the one who had taken over was his own daughter, so he didn't feel anything. Besides, indeed, it was because of his hesitation that the Dan Tai family missed the opportunity to improve their relationship with Tsing Hui. As for Tianshui City and Dragon Roar City, whoever can take down these two cities will be the new city lord of these two cities. However, I will only give you half a month's time. After half a month, if there is still no one who can do anything to Tianshui City and Dragon Roar City, I will personally take action. After finishing his words, Tsing Hui's expression turned cold. Similarly, no matter what you want to do, whether it's rebellion or fighting for power, you only have half a month's time. After half a month's time, I want the entire Dragon Whale Island to be peaceful again. Anyone who wants to stir up trouble will be killed without mercy. Hearing the words kill without mercy, the city lords and spirit-refining cultivators felt a chill in their hearts. Island Master, the name Dragon Whale Island was given by the Island Master of Dragon Whale Island. Now that Dragon Whale Island has changed owners, it should naturally change its name to show a new atmosphere. Island Master, please name this island. Then let's change it to Dragonslayer Island. Dragonslayer Island? Dan Taing was slightly startled. Obviously, he didn't know why Tsing Hui wanted such a name. Dragonslayer? Dragonslayer? Just because he killed the Dragon Whale Island Master, he thought that he had killed a dragon? However, she immediately reacted. As a subordinate, she only needed to follow the Island Master's insignificant orders. Island Master is wise. The other city lords also agreed. Some even secretly laughed at the name, but their faces didn't reveal the slightest bit of it. Tsing Hui swept a glance at everyone. He seemed to have casually chosen this name, but in fact his ambition was contained in a single name. Dragonslayer, a dragon among men, a dragon among men. To be able to escape the persecution of the 10 great sacred sects and establish a force overseas, which one of them couldn't be called a dragon among men. And his future goal was to use Dragon Whale Island to gain a foothold overseas. Then, he would use the overseas forces to help him search for objects that could carry the Tao. From there, he would be able to raise his primal chaos level to rank 30 and use the teleportation technique. In the process of unifying the outer seas, it was inevitable that there would be all kinds of snatching and killing. It was unknown how many famous overlords would fall under his sword. Dragonslayer Island? It wouldn't take long for it to live up to its name. Since Dragon Whale Island changed its name to Dragonslayer Island, Dragon Whale City also changed its name to Dragonslayer City. This series of changes would naturally cause Dragonslayer City to become turbulent. Fortunately, the overseas was different from the inland. In the inland, once there was chaos in some places, it would cause a long-lasting and far-reaching impact. But overseas attacking cities and seizing land was a very normal phenomenon. Some cities thought that they were strong enough to conquer another city. Some islands felt that they were strong enough to conquer another island. This kind of thing was not uncommon. Thus, when the Dragon Whale Island Masters Corps, the subduing ocean guards, as well as the two city lords of Tianshui City and Dragoncry City, the disturbance in Dragonslayer Island quickly subsided in less than half a month. However, these so-called subsided disturbances were only limited to the surface. At least, there were many spirit-refining experts who secretly approached the Cloud Wave City Lord. Moreover, the Cloud Wave City Lord sent experts to infiltrate Dragonslayer City to investigate matters. In just half a month, Dragonslayer City had already killed more than a dozen Awakening and True Chi experts who came to spy on them. In this half a month, Xing Hui did not stay idle. The wealth left behind by the Dragon Whale Island Master and the many treasures he obtained from the Hiza Chamber of Commerce were all sorted out by him. After sorting it out, Xing Hui discovered that he now had a lot of wealth. Not to mention the rank 4 divine weapons, there were a total of 8 of them, including a middle rank 4 and a low rank 4 armor. The rank 4 armor could already be integrated into the earth energy and become a part of it. Just like the dragon scale armor in Xing Hui's hands. Once the earth energy was injected, it would transform into scales to protect the user. Even if an ordinary True Chi expert had a rank 3 divine weapon, they would not be able to do anything to it. Unfortunately, Xing Hui's True Chi was not compatible with the dragon scale armor. This armor was the same as Blazing Glory's rank 4 upper armor, one of the armors that he could not safely use. Invade like fire. The fire element was mainly used for killing and destruction. In terms of attack, it was extremely fierce and invincible. But in terms of defense, there was really nothing worth praising about it. Other than these divine weapons and armors, there were many other cultivation materials, such as void stone, void grass, 100 refined water, and so on. In addition, there was a large amount of materials for forging swords and armors. Many of them were even rank 6. If Xing Hui's divine protection technique was off cooldown, it would be impossible to forge a rank 6 divine weapon. But if these resources were combined, it was not impossible to forge a rank 5 divine weapon. Compared to the other things, the 2 soul dispersing pills are the most valuable. If used well, it is equivalent to having a loyal spirit unity realm subordinate. After sorting it out, Xing Hui's gaze fell on the bottle of soul dispersing pills. Then with a flip of his hand, he put it into his personal space. Xing Hui Island Master, just at this moment, Dan Taiyu's voice came from outside the door. In the past 10 days, Dan Tating had already returned to North Sea City. However, Wu Yu and Dan Taiying stayed behind. At the same time, Dan Taiyu, who was in North Sea City, was also sent to Zhanlong City to be in charge of Xing Hui's daily necessities. "Come in," Xing Hui said. After the somewhat cautious Dan Taiyu stepped into the room, he said, "I said before, no need to be so polite. Just call me Xing Hui. But Uncle Wu and Big Sister have repeatedly reminded me that I must be respectful to you and not be rude. They aren't here right now, so just be a little more casual." Xing Hui said and changed the topic. "Is something the matter?" After Dan Taiyu finished speaking, she immediately took out a box. Even though the box was sealed well and had not been opened, Xing Hui could still feel an extremely pure flame energy inside. Xing Hui opened the box and a fiery red feather appeared in front of him. The moment the box was opened, a blazing aura rushed out. Fire Phoenix Feather? Yes. It is the Fire Phoenix Feather. This is the feather of an adult Fire Phoenix. It contains the pure aura of an adult Saint Beast. It's actually the Fire Phoenix Feather. Xing Hui's face revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. An unexpected surprise. This was truly an unexpected surprise. The Fire Phoenix Feather. Even if it was an adult Fire Phoenix Feather, in terms of value, it would not necessarily be much higher than the Fire Essence core of the 4th Order Half-Holy Beast Chewing. If one simply absorbed the fire energy contained within, it would not even be as good as the Sun Essence. However, if one were to really use the Fire Phoenix Feather, it would definitely be a waste. The true value of the Fire Phoenix Feather was that before its energy was exhausted, It could greatly increase the compatibility between the cultivator and the fire energy. If one were to wear the fire phoenix feather while cultivating a fire cultivation method, one would be able to achieve twice the results with half the effort. And if one were to cultivate a fire cultivation method and refine a fire attribute spirit stone, one would be able to greatly increase the refining speed and reduce the consumption of energy. Simply put, the energy contained within a fire phoenix feather could allow a cultivator to unleash the effects of 200,000 peerless grade fire spirit stones. AI looking at the fire phoenix feather, Xinghui could not help but secretly feel regret. If he had gotten this fire phoenix feather earlier, he wouldn't have had to use up the great sun essence first. With the fire phoenix feather's miraculous effect, he could have refined 5,000 supreme grade fire spirit stones in half a month, and with the help of these 5,000 supreme grade fire spirit stones, he could have rushed to the Golden Crow Jin Qi completion stage. Once his Golden Crow True Qi was complete, he could use the fire phoenix feather to refine the sun essence and rush to the realm of spirit refining in one go. Moreover, he would be close to the realm of small success. After that, he would spend another month or so to refine the remaining peerless grade fire spirit stones and rush to the realm of small success. Unfortunately, he had already used up the sun essence. And if he wanted to obtain another sun essence, unless he was willing to kill his way into the Jinwu religion and plunder it, it would be no different from a fool's dream. Xinghui, this is the gift my father wanted me to give to you. You don't like it? I like it, it's just that he came a little late, Xinghui said and shook his head. Cultivation was a very private matter. It was not good for him to say too much to Dan Taiyu. I understand your father's intentions. You can tell him and your sister that as long as the Dantai family does not let me down, the Dantai family's position on Dragon Beheading Island will not be shaken. Chapter 131. Young Master. As Xinghui was refining his genuine qi, Yan Huang, who was summoned by him, finally arrived. Congratulations, young master. Congratulations. As soon as he entered the study, Yan Huang immediately congratulated and bowed to Xinghui respectfully. He didn't expect that Xinghui had already established such a huge foundation in just a few months after leaving Colored Glaze Island. A behemoth like Dragon Whale Island could be ranked in the top 100 in the entire sea region. Normally, Colored Glaze Island wouldn't dare to provoke them. But now, the entire island was conquered by Xinghui and became his exclusive territory. It's just a small matter, Xinghui said and said to the guard outside the door, call Steward Wu and Deputy Governor Yin over. Soon, the guard acknowledged and retreated. You came at the right time. The owner of Dragon Whale Island left behind a lot of things. Help me sort them out. I want to bring them inland. I will ask Steward Wu to cooperate with you to sort out these resources. How many spiritual fire crystals I can exchange for on this trip will depend on the background of Dragon Whale Island. Dragon Whale Island is famous. There must be a lot of treasures hidden here over the years. You will definitely be able to return with a full load. Yan Huang said respectfully. Xinghui nodded. Soon, Wu Yu and Dan Tang followed the guard into the study. Greetings, Island Master. Wu Yu, cooperate with Yan Huang to sort out the resources on Dragon Whale Island. I want to bring the valuable items inland for exchange. After a short while, he carefully suggested, Island Master, even though the treasure offering ceremony has ended, the city lords who presented the treasures were mostly collected by the Dragon Whale Island Master. These treasures won't be of much help to you, Island Master. Now that the dragon-slaying island has settled down, Island Master can restart the treasure offering ceremony and order the city lords to present the Fire Element's supreme treasures. Those who present the most valuable treasures will be heavily rewarded. By then, you might be able to gain something unexpected. Xinghui's heart skipped a beat when he heard that. He had neglected this point. All right, I'll leave this matter to you. However, I still have to make the trip to the mainland as soon as possible. Taking into account the journey to and fro, as well as the delay, the treasure presentation assembly will be held in 3 months. This way, those city lords can be mentally prepared and have time to collect fire attribute treasures. Yes. Before the new round of treasure presentation begins, I still have to make a trip to Wave City. If I'm not wrong, there should be quite a number of spirit-refining cultivators, including a few city lords, secretly trying to get close to the Wave City Lord. I might as well make a trip there personally. As Xinghui spoke, he turned to Dan Taiying and said, "Organize a group of people and follow me. If Wave City's City Lord intends to stubbornly resist to the end, then we will solve this problem once and for all." When Dan Taiying heard this, he immediately responded excitedly, "I'll arrange it right away." Because of the existence of Wave City's City Lord, Dragon Beheading Island indeed had some undercurrents. Now that Xinghui was willing to personally solve this problem, it would definitely allow Dragon Beheading Island to completely calm down. It would also be of great help to her in ruling Dragon Beheading Island. An hour later, a large warship soared into the sky from Dragon Beheading Island and flew towards Wave City. While this warship was flying towards Wave City, countless messages were sent to Wave City through various kinds of communication birds. Regarding this, Xinghui did not stop them. Since he wanted to kill one to warn 100, the more people knew about this, the better. If one Spirit Chi Unity Realm expert's blood was not enough, then two. With his current ability, suppressing a small Dragon Beheading Island was not a difficult matter. The warship advanced without any surprises or dangers. Even when it reached the boundary of Wave City, it did not encounter any obstructions. This scene made Xinghui and the others who were already prepared somewhat surprised. "I thought that they would use the Yuan spirit cannons to shoot down our warship to give us a show of strength." Xinghui looked at the warship that had already entered Wave City and was heading towards the port. "Seems like Taoist Master Yun Tao is quite tactful." Dan Taiying smiled faintly. In fact, it was indeed so. When Xinghui descended from the warship and landed at the port, Taoist Master Yun Tao, who was dressed in green and looked like an elegant scholar, was already waiting for him with a few people. Seeing Xinghui descend from the warship, Taoist Master Yun Tao only felt that the true chi fluctuation on his body was a little strange. However, considering the information he had gathered, he still went forward and bowed, "Greetings, Island Lords." "Don't be so courteous, Yun Tao City Lord," Xinghui said. His gaze went past Taoist Master Yun Tao and landed on the 5 spirit-refining cultivators who were subdued behind him. "Seems like Yun Tao City Lord has made the right choice." "Yes." After speaking, Taoist Master Yun Tao waved his hand. Immediately, the 5 spirit-refining cultivators who were subdued by him were brought forward. These 5 people's acupuncture points were obviously sealed and could not speak. However, their gazes towards Taoist Master Yun Tao were filled with anger and unwillingness. "That's Tsunami City's Vice City Lord, Luchuan City's Vice City Lord, and these 3 people, one represents Guilu City, and the other 2 are famous spirit-refining cultivators. I'm afraid they want to take advantage of the chaos to occupy the city and become the city lord." Dan Taiying was born and raised in Jianlong Island. He had some understanding of the famous spirit-refining cultivators in Jianlong Island and was able to identify the 5 spirit-refining cultivators in one breath. "Miss Dantai's eyes are as sharp as torches." Yun Tao smiled faintly and said, "Among these people, one of them wants to overthrow his city lord, while the other 2 are here on behalf of the city lords behind them. They want to bewitch me and make me fight against the island lord. Previously, I didn't make a move because I wanted to see if I could lure more people to take the bait. Now that the island lord has arrived, I made a move and captured all of them. Other than these spirit-refining cultivators, there are also many true Chi realm cultivators. However, those people are not worth mentioning. These people will be handed over to the city lord to deal with." Xinghui sized up Taoist Master Yun Tao. His eyes were deep. Taoist Master Yun Tao looked at Xinghui with sincerity. "Yun Tao City Lord, you have made the right choice. Island Lord can even kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord. If I choose to fight against the Island Lord, then I would be overestimating myself." Taoist Master Yun Tao said truthfully. "Do I need to say how to deal with the crime of rebellion?" Xinghui said to Dan Taiying without turning his head. "This subordinate understands." Dan Taiying replied and immediately gave the order. Behind her, 5 true Chi realm cultivators rushed forward. While the 5 spirit-refining cultivators struggled in fear, they raised their hands and slashed down. Fresh blood splattered all over the ground. Such a scene fell into the eyes of the other spirit refining and true Qi realm cultivators who came to welcome them. They could not help but feel a chill in their hearts. They looked at Xing Hui with even more respect. It is said that Yun Tao City Lord awakened a heaven and earth spiritual root. I'm quite curious. Would it be possible for me to broaden my horizons? Xing Hui said and used an appraisal technique on Taoist Master Yun Tao. However, the information he received from Taoist Master Yun Tao caused his expression to change slightly. Name: Yun Tao Primal Chaos Rank, Rank 4 Attack Rank, 41, Defense Rank, 44, Speed Rank, 40, Spirit Rank, 43 Son of Primal Chaos. The Yun Tao in front of him was actually a son of Primal Chaos. Although his rank was only rank 4, but he had finally stepped into the ranks of Sons of Primal Chaos. Wait a moment, if he was a son of Primal Chaos, then it was impossible for him not to have noticed the abnormal strength he displayed when he killed the Dragon Whale Island Lord. In other words, he should have guessed that he had used a sacred art. He knew that he had used a sacred art, but he did not immediately take advantage of the cooldown period to attack him. Flying sword, huff, Xing Hui muttered to himself. With a flying sword, he could come and go as he pleased. In addition, his strength was not weak. Even if Yun Tao could defeat him, he would not be able to kill him, let alone capture him alive. And now, he was acting so docile. Xing Hui smiled. He could not be bothered to scheme against Yun Tao, nor did he want to know why he was so calm. Boo! In the next moment, a terrifying aura suddenly erupted from Xing Hui's body. Before Yun Tao could figure out what was wrong with him, Xing Hui suddenly unsheathed the Crimson Dragon Sword. In the air, a golden crow spread its wings, and a terrifying heat wave filled the entire sky above the spaceport. It was as if a scorching sun had risen from the 300-meter-tall spaceport, illuminating the entire Wave City. Island Lord? Not good, Yun Tao roared. Not only did a suit of armor appear on his body, but the armor also manifested a large number of green vines to protect him. However, it was useless. After using a sacred art and wielding the Crimson Dragon Sword, a high-grade rank 5 divine weapon, Xing Hui's attack rank was not inferior to that of a mid-stage blue netherworld expert. With a slash of his sword, the golden crow projections suddenly swooped down. Instantly, more than half of the spaceport's platform exploded and was destroyed. The few true energy realm experts behind Yun Tao did not even have time to scream before they were turned into ashes. Rumble! The rising scorching sun's power condensed to its peak and exploded. A circle of Qi wave visible to the naked eye swept out in all directions with the spaceport as the center, attacking the warships hovering above the spaceport. The Zhan Long Island's warship, which was closer to the center, was directly hit by the force and was turned over. Amidst countless screams and cries, the warship fell from the 300-meter-tall spaceport. However, other than the cultivators on the warship, no one else cared about what happened to the warship. Everyone's gaze was focused on the gradually dissipating blazing flames. As for those spirit-refining cultivators in the direction of Cloud Wave City, all of them kept quiet out of fear, their eyes filled with fear. Take them down. Under Tantai Yin's command, the true Qi realm cultivators and the 2 spirit-refining cultivators who had just joined the alliance swarmed forward. Clearly, there were 8 spirit-refining cultivators present in Wave City, but these 8 people did not dare to resist at all. Especially after one of them was killed by the Qing Su sword, the remaining 7 people allowed the people from Dragon Beheading Island to capture them alive. Xing Hui walked forward slowly. The blazing flames on the spaceport's platform seemed to be welcoming the arrival of a king and dispersed to both sides. Not long after, Yun Tao's tragic figure appeared from the flames. Qi! Xing Hui stepped forward and stabbed with his Crimson Dragon Sword, breaking Yun Tao's 4 limbs and crippling his true Qi to prevent him from committing suicide. Only then did he stop while Yun Tao was screaming. Now, you can tell me what your plan is. Chapter 132. Yun Tao stared at Xing Hui, his eyes filled with terror. I've checked the information. Cultivators who have awakened their spiritual roots of heaven and earth have extremely tenacious vitality. They have powerful recovery abilities. Although I've pierced your limbs and sealed your Zhen Qi, you'll be able to recover in a few days. Therefore, whether you live or die is up to you. Island Lord, I have no enmity toward you and am willing to submit to you out of goodwill. Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to waste my breath. Xing Hui waved his hand at Dan Taiying. Dan Taiying immediately understood the situation and quickly retreated with the people of Wave City. At the same time, he organized people to rescue the warship that had crashed from the spaceport, leaving space for his island lord. Since you guessed that I used a divine technique to kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord, you should know that the Sons of Chaos have a skill called appraisal. In that case, why did you, a 4th stage Son of Chaos, remain so obedient even after knowing that I'm a 10th stage Son of Chaos and above? Why is that? Every Son of Chaos is a Son of Chaos bestowed by the heavens. Unless there's a huge difference between the two, it's impossible for a Son of Chaos to submit to another Son of Chaos. I don't think my charm is so great that I can subdue you before we even meet. Yun Tao's face instantly paled. At this moment he finally knew where his problem lay. Appraisal. The Qing Su before him had actually wasted a step of his extremely precious chaotic realm on appraisal. A rank 4 Son of Chaos would never be able to understand the mentality of a high-rank Son of Chaos. Tell me what I want and pass down your rank, and I'll let you live. No. I can't lose my status as a Son of Chaos. Then, do you want to see if your willpower can withstand the punishment that's coming? Yun Tao's eyes filled with uncontrollable fear as large beads of sweat rolled down his forehead. The reason why the Dragon Whale Island Lord's soul-dispersing pill couldn't control you is one of the reasons why your mind is so powerful. Another reason is that you're a Son of Chaos, right? If you want to live, you have to give up your identity as the Son of Chaos. This is an irreversible logic. Since I've decided to use a soul-dispersing pill on you, I naturally won't kill you. After all, I still need an expert at the Unity of Spirit tier to oversee Dragon Slaying Island for me. Qing Su paused when he said that, my patience is limited. You have 3 breaths time to consider. Yun Tao's face was filled with struggle and fear. 3 seconds passed in the blink of an eye, and Xing Hui's expression gradually turned cold. He finally made his decision. I'm willing to give up my identity as the Son of Chaos. As soon as he finished speaking, he let out a long sigh, as if his entire body was about to collapse. Hand over everything in your personal space? I didn't take anything out of my personal space. Everything is in the secret chamber in the City Lord's residence's study. Yun Tao had already made his decision. At this moment, he was much more open-minded. He smiled bitterly and said, of the 4 levels of chaos, I put 3 on recovery to make my recovery ability stronger. As for the other one, because I've been unable to comprehend the crux of martial will, I put it on comprehension. Xing Hui glanced at Yun Tao. In just a short moment, the blood on his body had stopped flowing, and his limbs were probably able to move slightly now. At this rate, in less than a day, the wound that Xing Hui had pierced through him would be completely healed. This kind of recovery ability was truly terrifying. Originally, Xing Hui had planned to let Dan Taiyu adopt the chaos level. After all, Dan Taiyu had cultivated saint-grade vital energy, and her potential was greater than Dan Taiying's. However, in order to avoid any unforeseen circumstances, he could only call Dan Taiying over. Do you know what a Son of Chaos is? Son of Chaos? Dan Taiying was slightly stunned. Then, as if he had thought of something, his heartbeat seemed to slow down by half a beat. He knew that it was very likely that he had encountered the greatest opportunity of his life. I know, very good. Xing Hui's gaze turned to Yun Tao. Yun Tao painfully handed over his primal chaos spell and spiritual frequency. After receiving the chaos level technique, Dan Taiying's entire body trembled slightly. After failing several times, he finally succeeded in entering the chaos space and inheriting Yun Tao's chaos level. The moment he inherited Yun Tao's primal chaos rank, Yun Tao suddenly let out a scream of agony. His face turned even paler. Xing Hui glanced at him. After sensing that the vitality in his body had weakened greatly, he immediately understood that the inheritance of the Son of Chaos had ended. Add your chaos level to comprehension and cultivate as soon as possible. It's best if you break through to the spirit and chi unity realm as soon as possible. Only then will you be able to convince everyone that you're the #1 clan on Dragon-Slaying Island. Sing Hui said. Dan Tying responded somewhat excitedly. Take it. Sing Hui withdrew his gaze from Dan Ting, took out a soul-dispersing pill, and handed it to Yun Tao. At this point, Yun Tao had no way out. He could only take the soul-dispersing pill and swallow it. After taking the soul-dispersing pill, although Yun Tao's expression was still pained, Sing Hui could sense that the hatred in the depths of his eyes had weakened greatly. How is it? Thank you, Island Master. To think that I didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth and went against you. I didn't even consider that you're a high-level son of chaos. Your future is limitless. With my lowly aptitude, the spirit and chi unity realm is my limit. If I want to stand out and cultivate to a higher realm in the future, I can only rely on you and be at your beck and call. Sing Hui stared at Yun Tao, inwardly in awe. He could tell that Yun Tao was speaking from the bottom of his heart. A soul-dispersing pill had already caused such a huge change in his temperament. He really did not know what kind of person developed such a miraculous pill in ancient times. In the future, you'll oversee Dragon-Slaying Island for me. After all, Dragon-Slaying Island is a large island with a vast area and many inhabitants. Moreover, there are many mineral resources. If there is no spirit and chi unity realm expert overseeing it, it will definitely attract the attention of others. Yes. Yun Tao responded respectfully. After a moment, as if he had thought of something, he quickly lowered his head and said, I've committed a capital offense. 3 days ago, I've already sent a message to a chaos organization that I belong to and invited other experts in the organization to hunt you down. Island Master, I'll strip you of your chaos level. Please punish me. When Sing Hui heard this, he felt that it was reasonable. He knew that Yun Tao had a plan for being so docile earlier. He did not expect that Yun Tao was eyeing his chaos level. He had the divine skill, so he was at least a level 10 son of chaos. A level 10 son of chaos would inherit a level 5 son of chaos, which was at least much more powerful than a level 4 son of chaos like him. Who did you invite? Can you ask them to leave now? They are all core figures in my chaos organization. Their status is the same as mine. It's not very possible to ask them to leave, same as yours? How many people? How's their cultivation? Island Master, due to your ferocious strength, you killed the Dragon Whale Island Master with 1 sword. Your combat power is almost at the peak of Spirit and Chi Unity realm. To ensure that nothing goes wrong, I invited 4 people. Among the 4, 1 is at the late stage of Spirit and Chi Unity realm, and 3 are at the intermediate stage of Spirit and Chi Unity realm. Among them, the one at the late stage of Spirit and Chi Unity realm is good at defense and especially used to resist your attacks when you use your divine skill. The other few have their own specialties. They are either good at binding or tracking. You, an early stage Spirit and Chi Unity realm cultivator, actually dared to conspire with 4 such powerful figures? Island Master may not know, but although our chaos organization doesn't have a sword wielder, in order to ensure unity and loyalty, the members of the organization usually need to pawn an item of Dao rhythm with 10 Dao rhythm. In addition, before this mission, I asked them to pawn an item of Dao rhythm with 10 Dao rhythm. Chapter 133. Lorraine Kingdom. At this time, at the airport of the Lorraine Kingdom, there were dozens of experts looking up. Although there weren't many true energy realm powerhouses among these experts, and there weren't even many awakening realm powerhouses, but in the small Lorraine Kingdom, it was still enough to subvert the entire kingdom. In order to prevent the Lorraine Kingdom's cultivators from offending these big shots, the entire airport had been completely sealed off by the Imperial Guards sent by the Lorraine Kingdom's royal family. Even the Lorraine Kingdom's emperor, Luo Jiuzhou, and the old ancestor, Luo Tianming, accompanied them and looked into the distance from time to time. This scene fell into the eyes of those who didn't know about it not far away from the airport, and they were curious as to who was about to come to the Lorraine Kingdom. I didn't expect that in just a few years, the young man who had to pay a deposit at the entrance of our inn garden has grown to such a level. His visit alone has alarmed countless powerhouses. Not to mention the emperor, even the old ancestor of the royal family was alarmed and personally came to welcome him. On a tall building not far from the airport, Nangong Lai smiled bitterly. I regret not listening to the princess's words. Luo Huchuan's face was full of regret. If he had listened to Princess Qinghuan's words and recruited Tsing Hui, and protected him under the pressure of the third prince, with this favor, with Tsing Hui's cultivation and status now, with just a little help, the throne of the Lorraine kingdom would belong to him. But it was too late to say anything now. People don't know the cloud-soaring tree, but the cloud-soaring tree is the highest. LVU sighed. Luo Huchuan, Luo Tiancheng, and the others looked at each other for a moment. They didn't have the ability to judge people. No wonder they could only stay in the position of prince and couldn't ascend to the throne. They're here. At this moment, Princess Qingluan, who had been silent, suddenly spoke. With her reminder, everyone looked at the horizon at the same time. They saw a large battleship that had obviously been modified slowly decelerating and finally docked at the airport of the Lorraine Kingdom. As the warship came to a stop, the people in charge of greeting all stepped forward. At this moment, the door of the warship opened. Two teams led by spirit refining realm cultivators and dozens of true qi cultivators quickly disembarked from the warship and guarded the two sides of the warship. In the middle of the crowd, Tsing Hui, Yan Huang, and a black-robed man leisurely walked over, attracting the attention of everyone present. Cho Tsing Hui. Is it really him? 4, 5, 6 2 spirit refining cultivators, 30 true qi cultivators. My God. In the entire Lorraine Kingdom, there are less than 10 true qi cultivators. Right now, the number of true qi cultivators led by Qing Su has reached 30, not to mention the 2 spirit refining cultivators. Since when did he have such a huge force in his hands? 2 spirit refining cultivators, and the mysterious expert who killed 5 spirit refining cultivators including Sidu Qiushui. In addition, the black-robed man seems to be a spirit refining cultivator. This lineup is enough to sweep through almost all the kingdoms under the Hunyuan Heaven sect. Seeing Tsing Hui surrounded by so many strong cultivators, the people upstairs couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Not only them, even the Lorraine royal family waiting at the airport felt the same. Especially Luo Jiuzhou and Luo Tianming, the 2 representatives of the Lorraine royal family. After secretly looking at each other, they saw the joy in each other's eyes. Fortunately, when Tsing Hui revealed the rank 3 divine weapon, they didn't do anything rude to Tsing Hui because of his relationship with Nailan Fei. The only one who offended him, the third prince, was expelled from the royal city. Otherwise, if Tsing Hui wanted to settle the score, he could easily destroy the Lorraine royal family by relying on the dozens of true qi cultivators and spirit refining cultivators he brought. Greetings to Prince Tsing Hui. Greetings to Prince Tsing Hui. Following the arrival of Tsing Hui, Bai Lanxing and the others, who represented Nailan Fei, immediately stepped forward and bowed respectfully. Tsing Hui nodded slightly to the crowd. After his gaze swept across these people, he found a familiar figure. Xen Long? Lord. Xen Long quickly stepped forward and bowed respectfully. Tsing Hui's gaze lingered on Xen Long for a moment before nodding slightly. Not bad, you've already cultivated to the middle stage of the awakening realm. The most important thing in the awakening realm is to dig out your own potential. The more potential you dig out, the better the quality of your true qi. Speaking to this point, he paused slightly. What kind of bloodline did you awaken? This subordinate awakened the bloodline of the sacred beast Tianping by chance. Xen Long said with a trace of excitement on his face. Sacred beast bloodline? Yan Huang, who was following closely behind Tsing Hui, looked at Xen Long. You're Xen Long? The owner of the divine weapon building from before? I've heard the young master mention you before. If you don't mind, I can give you some pointers in your awakening realm cultivation. Who knows, you might be able to cultivate sacred grade true qi. Sacred grade true qi? Xen Long's face was filled with ecstasy. Moreover, he recognized that the man in front of him was the one who had displayed his might in the Luo Lin kingdom not long ago. He was the one who had killed 5 spirit-refining cultivators. Although he had never seen it with his own eyes, he had heard of his name more than once in the Luo Lin kingdom. To be able to receive pointers from such a famous spirit-refining cultivator was definitely a good opportunity. Xan Long's heart was moved, but he still turned his gaze to Tsing Hui, as if waiting for Tsing Hui's decision. Tsing Hui glanced at Yan Huang and was slightly satisfied with his decision. After all, Xan Long was the first cultivator to rely on him. Although he was only in the awakening realm and was not worth mentioning to him who occupied the Dragon Beheading Island, as his first follower, he naturally could not abandon him just because his cultivation was not good enough. Unfortunately, Tsing Hui did not have much time to give him anything. In the future, Yan Huang would be in charge of guiding him in his cultivation. This was indeed the best way to deal with him. Some time ago, when that woman Bu went crazy, I did not see you. I thought that you had an accident. It's good that you are fine. In the future, you can follow Yan Huang to cultivate. Thank you, Prince Tsing Hui. Thank you, Lord Yan Huang. Xan Long hurriedly bowed to the two. All right, there is no need for so many formalities. Tsing Hui said and turned his gaze to Bai Lanxing. Is my aunt here? Miss has already helped you to contact the channels you need. She is waiting for you. Good. Tsing Hui nodded and then nodded to Luo Jiuzhou and Luo Tianming, who came forward to greet him. He did not talk much with them and directly followed Bai Lanxing to the courtyard where Nayland Fei lived. With his current status and the many experts in his hands, there was no need for him to pay any attention to the royal family of the Luo Lin kingdom. Young master, with Lord Yan Huang here, we can go and look for the treasures left behind by Golden Light Cultivator. Xan Long followed beside Tsing Hui and said eagerly, The treasures left behind by Golden Light Cultivator? Tsing Hui's heart shook. He seemed to have heard Xan Long mention it before. Yes, Golden Light Cultivator did not seem to indicate his personal space. Many of his treasures are left in one place. However, there are many mechanisms and traps left behind by Golden Light Cultivator, making it very dangerous. We can only go there after our cultivation has reached a certain level. Right now, with young master and Lord Yan Huang's abilities, it is more than enough to break into the treasure trove left behind by Golden Light Cultivator. Hearing Xan Long's words, Tsing Hui's heart shook as if he had thought of something. I remember you saying that Golden Light Cultivator once destroyed a branch of the Jin Wu religion? Yes. The Jin Wu religion's branches were in fact similar to the various peaks of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. However, the various peaks of the Hunyuan Heaven sect were relatively close to the Hunyuan Heaven sect. If they encountered any danger, the Hunyuan Heaven sect headquarters would be able to immediately send experts to reinforce them. However, the Jin Wu religion's branches were different. They were set up in various areas under the jurisdiction of the Jin Wu religion and were extremely far away from each other. If they encountered a great enemy, they would not be able to send reinforcements in time. This was also related to the way the Jin Wu religion and the Hunyuan Heaven sect nurtured their disciples. The sect master of a branch is almost equivalent to a peak master of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. There must be a lot of treasures in such a sect. Moreover, from the flying swords and divine weapons Golden Light Cultivator used, he should have awakened the bloodline of a slaughtering spiritual beast or even a slaughtering sacred beast. The many fire attribute cultivation treasures in the Jin Wu religion's branch should not be of much use to him. Moreover, he was chased to death by experts sent by the Jin Wu religion not long after he destroyed the Jin Wu religion's branch. He might not even have the time to exchange the treasures in the Jin Wu religion for cultivation resources. Thinking of this, Tsing Hui's eyes suddenly lit up. If his guess was correct, Golden Light Cultivator's treasure trove was very likely to contain the essence of the sun. Xan Long, if Golden Light Cultivator's treasure trove really contains the treasures I need, I will definitely reward you handsomely. Go and see if there's anything you need to prepare. I'll go see my Aunt Nayland first. After I see her, we'll go and dig out the treasures Golden Light Cultivator left behind. Yes. Xan Long could finally be of use again. He hurriedly responded respectfully and did as he was told. At this moment, Qing Su arrived at Nayland Fei's courtyard under Bai Lanxing's lead. Naylin Fei was also waiting in the courtyard. She gave off a radiant feeling and seemed to be able to affect the mood of others just by standing there, making them involuntarily relaxed and happy. "Xinghui, you're here?" Naylin Fei greeted Xinghui with a smile when she saw him. "Aunt seems to be in a good mood. Seems like something good happened?" "Yes." During this period of time, Arch Sky Dome has completely wiped out the divine punishment. As one of the top 10 core forces, my master got a lot of things. Coincidentally, someone from the Eastern Wilderness came to her for a trade. When she sent down her incarnation to complete the trade, she also asked those people to leave some treasures for me. There won't be any danger, right? No one in the Eastern Wilderness has the guts to have designs on our Sky Dome. After Naylin Fei finished speaking, she paused for a moment. "Unfortunately, my master didn't upgrade her personal space to the 5th stage. Otherwise, her incarnation would be able to bring her personal space to descend, making some trades more convenient." Chapter 134. It's a pity that my master didn't upgrade his personal space to the 5th stage. Otherwise, his avatar could descend with his personal space, and some material transactions would be more convenient. The personal space can descend with his avatar? Of course, when any skill is upgraded to the 5th stage, there will be some special changes. When it reaches the 6th stage, it can be fine-tuned. In terms of the personal space, the special change at the 5th stage is that it can descend with his avatar. The fine-tuned control refers to the ability to control its expansion, height, length, and width. Xinghui nodded. He knew about the fine-tuned control. Just like divine arts, there were various options at the 6th stage. However, he didn't know about the special changes at the 5th stage. Sure enough, the information recorded in the free books wasn't comprehensive enough. Only at the 5th stage will there be a special change. Doesn't that mean the personal space has to wait until the 10th stage to accommodate life? Xinghui frowned. It is indeed the 10th stage. Naylin Fei said, the ability to accommodate life forms in the personal space is a very powerful ability. Think about it. If a 30th stage Son of Chaos upgraded his personal space to the 10th stage, he could hide an army in his personal space and throw it into any battlefield at any time, anywhere. At this point, she couldn't help but laugh. I forgot that it's not just the personal space. In fact, any special ability that is upgraded to the 10th stage will become extremely terrifying. Take the most basic recovery ability for example. The 10th stage recovery ability combined with the 10th stage personal space and the 1st stage avatar technique is equivalent to being immortal and indestructible. The 10th stage recovery ability is rebirth from a drop of blood. As long as there is a drop of blood left, he can be resurrected. The cultivator only needs to leave a drop of blood in his personal space. Once in danger, he can directly project an avatar to an unknown coordinate. Even if the main body is killed, he can still be reborn. Rebirth from a drop of blood. Xinghui didn't even need to think to know how terrifying this ability was. Back then, there was a Son of Chaos who specialized in body refinement who raised his recovery ability to the 10th level. In addition, he had the 10th level personal space and the transformation technique. With these characteristics, he had offended more than half of the First Palace, 3 sects, 6 schools, and 9 schools of Heaven Wasteland with his mere cultivation of the 4th level of the Saint Realm. However, he still lived a glorious life. Whoever dared to offend him, he dared to rush into the headquarters of these large sects and kill them. Even if these forces sent peak saint experts to hunt him down, they still could not do anything to him. If an angry Son of Chaos had not directly launched a personal chaos war with him with the token of the world of battle and deprived him of his chaos level, he would still be able to live freely. Xinghui nodded. At this point, Naylin Fei looked at Xinghui and pondered for a moment before suddenly saying, "It's a bit presumptuous to ask this, but Xinghui, your chaos rank should be very high, right?" Xinghui immediately thought of the scene in Naylin Fei's personal space where her good friend Jin Yu had used the identification technique on him not long ago. In the end, he told the truth. "I obtained many Dao-carrying items by chance. My chaos rank is 17. 17? Naylin Fei's beautiful eyes could not help but widen. Although Jin Yu had guessed that Xing Hui's chaos rank was most likely 16, she had never thought that Jin Yu would guess wrong. Xing Hui's chaos rank had actually reached 17. Fortunately, Nayland Fei was an elite in the Vault of Heaven after all, and the 10 core people of the Vault of Heaven had an average chaos rank of 25. She had seen many high-level sons of chaos over the years. After a moment, she recovered from her shock. I didn't expect your chaos rank to have reached such a level. It seems that I should have told you this earlier. Xing Hui, you should choose your own development direction. Development direction? Chaos rank 30 belongs to a whole new realm. Once you reach this realm, you will open the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. Xing Hui nodded. He had heard this from Nayland Fei. The Chaos Treasure Pavilion is the second watershed for the Sons of Chaos after the 10th level. A Son of Chaos who possesses the Chaos Treasure Pavilion and a Son of Chaos who doesn't possess the Chaos Treasure Pavilion are two completely different concepts. Because the numerous treasures sold in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion are sufficient to allow a Son of Chaos to easily widen the gap between him and an ordinary cultivator. Just like the Golden Crow blood essence. The Golden Crow is a terrifying creature that lives on a star, and it's formidable to the point of legend. Any Golden Crow is born with a cultivation at the Saint Realm, and an adult Golden Crow is an existence that surpasses the Saint Realm. It's utterly impossible for a Saint Realm cultivator to defeat it. Under these circumstances, the reason the Golden Crow blood essence is in circulation is because of the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. Xing Hui's breathing paused slightly. You mean, the Chaos Treasure Pavilion sells the Golden Crow blood essence? Nayland Fei shook her head. Under Xing Hui's somewhat stunned gaze, she slowly said, "What I mean is that the Chaos Treasure Pavilion sells the blood essence of all divine beasts." All divine beasts? Xing Hui couldn't help but ask again. All divine beasts? Nayland Fei nodded heavily, even the essence cores of divine beasts. Xing Hui took a deep breath. Divine beast cores. That was the purest part of a divine beast, and only an adult divine beast could possess it. If one reared a golden crow, they could still extract blood essence from the golden crow by continuously letting it bleed. However, a divine beast core was equivalent to a divine beast's life. The items in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion require Taoist rhymes to purchase. This is extremely costly, but this is not the point. What I want to say is, opening the Chaos Treasure Pavilion requires Taoist rhymes. This is a forced consumption. Taoist rhymes are consumed? Yes, Taoist rhymes are consumed. As Nayland Fei spoke, she took a small breath. 1 Taoist rhyme per day. Xing Hui's expression changed at once. 1 Taoist rhyme per day. That's right, Nayland Fei said. In fact, this is the real reason why Sons of Chaos above rank 30 are so rare. No one can withstand the consumption of 1 Taoist rhyme per day. Xing Hui was slightly silent. Could withstand it. The number of Sons of Chaos above rank 30 on Tianhuang continent can be counted on one hand. Every one of them is a leader ranked in the top 10 in the Chaos organization. However, even our leader, Sky Dome, usually remains at ranked 29. Only when he accumulates a certain amount of Taoist rhymes and advances to rank 30 will he consume a bit of Taoist rhyme when the Chaos Treasure Pavilion opens to buy treasures or when he has to use the teleportation technique. After that, he will drop back to ranked 29. Xing Hui had heard about the number of Sons of Chaos above rank 30 from Yan Huang. At that time, he had found it strange that a Son of Chaos above ranked 25 could often get more than 10 Taoist rhymes for each transaction. Even if the Son of Chaos above ranked 25 could not complete the transaction due to the lack of credibility, on average, once a year would give him 10 Taoist rhymes per year. In 100 years, he would have accumulated at least 1,000 Taoist rhymes and advanced to rank 10. Now, it seemed that the Chaos Treasure Pavilion was waiting for them. The main reason I'm telling you all this is to tell you that ranked 29 is often the limit that a Son of Chaos can reach. Under such circumstances, it's important to establish your own direction and make reasonable use of the enhancement of your chaos level. There are many kinds of directions. For example, the immortal path that I just told you about, the lucky path that my friend Jin Yu took, the path of a Tao enlightened master that specializes in increasing one's comprehension, the path of an array master, the path of a weapon refiner, the path of an alchemist, the path of the divination pavilion that specializes in the appraisal technique, and so on. It's better to be good at everything than good at everything. If you don't have a clear direction, just having an extraordinary chaos level may not be of much help to your cultivation. Tsing Hui nodded slightly at this. Think about these problems carefully. In a while, I'll give you a relatively powerful development map. You can combine your current many characteristics and choose a development path that suits you. A development path that suits me. Tsing Hui recalled the many characteristics that he had gained: recovery characteristic, comprehension, sword Dao talent, appraisal technique, personal space, advancement technique, divine protection technique, divine skill. How could the word chaotic be enough to describe it? What I want to ask is, can the chaos level be redone? You didn't add them completely randomly, did you? Tsing Hui nodded. Nayland Fei felt helpless at once. In that case, you can only choose the one with the highest enhancement. Tsing Hui glanced at his many characteristics under the chaos level. Ranked 4 comprehension, ranked 4 recovery, ranked 3 sword Dao talent, ranked 2 divine protection technique, rank 1 appraisal technique, rank 1 personal space, rank 1 advancement technique, rank 1 divine protection technique. The highest, comprehension and recovery. He could choose the Tao enlightened master path and the immortal body path. Among them, the Tao enlightened master path obviously had the advantage because he also had a rank 3 sword Dao talent. If he followed the sword Dao path, he could maximize this advantage. However, the recovery characteristic was related to whether he could further liberate himself and dig out more of his body's potential. Moreover, its powerful life-saving ability was also very effective. You don't have to make a decision in a hurry. Anyway, it's not easy to increase the chaos level. Take your time to think about it. Nayland Fei said. Tsing Hui glanced at his Taoist rhyme value. In another 10 days, his chaos level would reach ranked 18. There was not much time left unless he was willing to keep his Taoist rhyme from increasing the chaos level. The immortal body technique requires at least 21 chaos levels. Recovery is rank 10, personal space is rank 10, and transformation technique is rank 1. I'm currently 13 chaos levels away from rank 30. Recovery characteristic is rank 4, personal space is rank 1. The chaos levels are not enough. However, the Tao enlightened master path is also not enough. I have to point out the transformation technique no matter what. Tsing Hui shook his head. Forget it. Auntie, I've prepared some items to sell. Please take care of them. Oh, you don't plan to go? Time is tight. I have something to do and need to return overseas within 3 months. Moreover, there's also something on the mainland that needs to be dealt with immediately. The matter Tsing Hui mentioned was naturally to dig out the treasures left behind by Jingguang Sanren with Xen Long. The things inside were related to whether he could quickly rush to the spirit refining realm. In addition, there's another person that I need to introduce to Auntie. Tsing Hui said and said to the door, "Come in." A moment later, a man wrapped in a black robe slowly walked in. As he took off the hat on his head and revealed his face, Nayland Fei and Yen Huang both cried out in surprise. Zhang Jiuxiao? Chapter 135. Greetings Miss Nayland and Sir Yen Huang. Zhang Jiuxiao was a defeated general, so he naturally didn't dare to be arrogant in front of Nayland Fei and Yen Huang. He respectfully bowed to them. What's going on? The two's gazes fell on Tsing Hui. Zhang Jiuxiao was ordered by you to go to the Long Whale Island overseas to ask the island master to take my life. After I killed the island master, he was captured alive and taught a lesson to change his ways. Tsing Hui gave a simple introduction. The island masters. Nayland Fei thoughtfully glanced at Tsing Hui. I didn't expect you to already have such cultivation. You flatter me. Tsing Hui turned to Zhang Jiuxiao. He has all kinds of evidence that Bai Yu betrayed the Hunyuan Heaven sect, especially evidence that she spread the awakening chapter of the Black Hole Sutra. The Black Hole Sutra? You mean the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's secret technique, the Black Hole Sutra? Sing Hui directly took out the Black Hole Sutra he had prepared. Bai Yu personally wrote this. Although we can't judge anything from the handwriting, it's completely different with Zhang Jiuxiao's explanation. With this, we can completely overthrow Bai Yu and have the Hunyuan Heaven Sect strip her of her identity as a true disciple. Then, we'll have the punishment department pursue her responsibility. When that happens, Bai Yu will undoubtedly die. Now that the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's Overgod scripture has been leaked, Bai Yu is dead for sure. However, we still have to remove you from this matter. Otherwise, whether or not you've read the Awakening chapter of the Black Hole Sutra, the punishment department will most likely kill you to ensure that not a single word of the Black Hole Sutra is leaked. As a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven Sect, Nayland Fei understood the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's style and quickly pointed out the key problem. Is the Hunyuan Heaven Sect so overbearing? You're underestimating the 10 great sects' monopoly over their secret techniques. We need to change our story. Zhang Jiuxiao, I intercepted you when you were planning to go overseas. Do you understand? Zhang Jiuxiao was taken aback and turned to Tsing Hui. According to Auntie, Tsing Hui hadn't expected that a mere Black Hole Sutra Awakening chapter would cause so much trouble. However, he still said in a deep voice, however, Zhang Jiuxiao has appeared in Dragon Whale City before. Many people have personally witnessed this. Moreover, I've just occupied Dragon Whale Island. I can't guarantee that this news will be completely suppressed. I'm afraid this matter will arouse suspicion. Then let's just pretend that there was no such thing. Nayland Fei said without hesitation. Since this matter involves the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's secret technique, it's definitely not a small matter. It's best if we keep this news to ourselves. It seems that I've underestimated the situation. Tsing Hui said, then let's stick to the original plan. I'll go and kill Bai Yu. No. Damn. Bai Yu is a true disciple. If you kill her, even if you escape overseas, you'll still be hunted down by the punishment department. However, I'm also a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven Sect and have heaven's backing. Even if the punishment department of the Hunyuan Heaven Sect punishes me, they won't be able to threaten my life. After Nayland Fei finished speaking, she continued with a solemn expression, moreover, this matter needs to be dealt with as soon as possible. Once the news of Dragon Whale Island being occupied by you spreads out or Bai Yu learns that Zhang Jiuxiao has fallen into your hands, she will definitely connect it to the fact that her private transmission of the Black Hole True Scripture has been exposed. To prevent her from taking the risk of mutual destruction, we have to kill her before she spreads the news and eliminate all future troubles. Tsing Hui frowned. He originally wanted to use the Black Hole Sutra's Awakening chapter to topple Bai Yu, but now it seemed that the Black Hole Sutra's Awakening chapter was a landmine. Anyone who touched it would die. He had already fallen into a situation where he could lose his life if he wasn't careful. Bai Yu's matter arose because of me. I'll be the one to kill her. Moreover, I'll immediately head overseas after dealing with the matters on the mainland. The Hunyuan Heaven Sect may not be able to send people to chase after me. You don't understand. Even if the punishment department doesn't want to take this matter seriously, Bai Yu is still the left and right arm of the Sky Origin Peak Master. He can't just watch his trusted aide be killed without doing anything. Otherwise, who will be loyal to him in the future? Under his pressure, the Hunyuan Heaven Sect will most likely send a Hall Master to Dragon Slaying Island to hunt you down. Time is of the essence, so I'll immediately head to the Hunyuan Heaven Sect to kill Bai Yu. Sir Blazing Glory, I'll have Bai Lansheng bring you to the trade. He'll be in charge of this matter, so just follow him. Understood. Yan Huang nodded. I'll rush over to join you after I've dealt with my matters. Tsing Hui said. His original intention was to help Nayland Fei, but in the end, he still forced Nayland Fei onto the path of killing Bai Yu. Don't worry, with Tianqiong around, the Hunyuan Heaven Sect won't dare to do anything to me. Nayland Fei seemed to have seen through Tsing Hui's thoughts and said with a smile. Tsing Hui nodded. In the end, he wasn't strong enough. Although his cultivation base had advanced by leaps and bounds during this period, and his battle strength wasn't any weaker than a Spirit Chi Unity stage expert, he was still not worth mentioning in front of the colossal Hunyuan Heaven Sect. Any hall master in the Hunyuan Heaven sect had the ability to kill him, even if he used a saint technique. Nayland Fei immediately summoned Bai Lanxing and gave him instructions. After he and Yen Huang discussed the specific matters, she left the Luo Lin royal capital and headed towards the Eastern Cloud Empire. After Nayland Fei left, Xing Hui didn't want to wait any longer. He summoned Xen Long and the two rode a more convenient flying beast towards the Setting Sun Mountain Range over 10,000 kilometers away. The Setting Sun Mountain Range was a large mountain range located on the border between the Hunyuan Heaven sect and the Jin Wu religion. The scale of the mountain range wasn't inferior to the Cloud Wilderness Mountain Range. The two top sects, the Hunyuan Heaven sect and the Jin Wu religion, used the Setting Sun Mountain Range as their base. To the east of the Setting Sun Mountain Range was the Hunyuan Heaven sect's territory, while to the west was the Jin Wu religion's territory. Although the Setting Sun Mountain Range was a mountain range, it was different from the Cloud Wilderness Mountain Range. In this mountain range, there weren't any deep mountains or old forests. The number and strength of the fierce beasts were far from being comparable to the Cloud Wilderness Mountain Range. Under such circumstances, the entire mountain range naturally had a large number of human settlements. These settlements varied in size. The small ones were villages with a few hundred or a few thousand people, while the large ones were cities built in the mountain range and had a population of several million. With a base population, cultivation sects would naturally be born. Because this mountain range was a buffer zone between the Hunyuan Heaven sect and the Jin Wu religion, the strength of these cultivation sects wasn't weak. Many sects even had spirit refining stage experts overseeing them. Xing Hui and Xen Long continued forward and soon arrived at a mountainous area covered with rocks. The two searched the mountainous area for a day, but didn't find the 3 stones surrounding the moon that cultivator Jingguang had mentioned. For a time, Xen Long couldn't help but sweat profusely. It's obviously in this area. Logically speaking, it should be within a few dozen kilometers of this mountain range. Why isn't there the 3 stones surrounding the moon? Xing Hui didn't think that Xen Long would lie to him. He sized up the mountain range and his gaze quickly fell on a place. Here there seems to be someone quarrying. Xen Long was awakened by Xing Hui and quickly noticed the abnormality. Many areas in this mountain range had traces of quarrying. Those strangely shaped and brightly colored rocks had obviously been moved away by quarrying people, and the direction they moved to 30 kilometers away, there was a sect. Look over there. The layout there is the 3 stones encircling the moon. It's just that it's missing a huge rock, and the location of the 3rd huge rock has traces of being excavated by someone. Therefore, the place we're looking for should be there. Xing Hui searched for a while and finally stopped in the middle of the 3 huge rocks. Xen Long carefully adjusted his position and immediately became happy. Yes, it's here. The rock under our feet should be able to be moved away. If we move this rock, we'll be able to enter cultivator Jingguang's treasury. After saying that, he couldn't wait to move the 5 to 6,000 kilograms boulder under his feet. This rock didn't look small, but it was actually a flat rock, like a manhole cover. As Xen Long moved it away, an entrance about 2 meters in diameter appeared in front of them. It seemed that no one had entered the entrance for a while. There were many weeds growing around it, but this didn't affect their search. Let's go. After saying that, Xing Hui directly stepped in. The two of them went less than 30 meters underground. The tunnel gradually leveled out, and some light appeared in front of them. As the two of them walked closer, they saw many valuable sunstones emitting a dazzling white light, illuminating the entire underground cavern. Young master, be careful. There should be some traps up ahead. Should we invite a trap master, no matter how strong a trap is, it won't be able to unleash its power without someone controlling it. Just be careful. After saying that, Xing Hui slowed down slightly and at the same time, increased his concentration to the maximum. However, at this moment, there was a sudden exclamation from the ground behind him. What is this? There's an entrance here, a man-made entrance. A cave. There's an underground cave here. Quick, quick, send the news to the sect master. We've discovered a mysterious underground cave. Hearing the chaotic voices above, Xing Hui frowned. At this moment, A stream of light suddenly shot out in front of them, causing Tsing Hui to quickly dodge. This dodge seemed to have triggered a chain reaction. The stone bricks on the ground kept changing and assembling, forming a pit. Fortunately, Tsing Hui immediately flew up on his sword and stood in the air. All right, this level of trap can't do anything to me. Guard the door and try not to let the people from that sect in. If there are experts in that sect, they can leave first and wait for me in the Lorraine Kingdom. I can go in alone. Young master, please be careful. Tsing Hui nodded. Immediately, the flying sword whistled and shot forward, using the flying sword to explore the path and trigger the trap. After the flying sword triggered the trap once, he slowly moved forward. As a result, he didn't encounter too much danger along the way. After walking 300 to 400 meters, he turned a corner and a brightly framed hall appeared in front of him. Chapter 136. 100 Ocean City. A coastal city at the border of Hunyuan Heaven Sect. The city's scale was not big, and the number of people living in the city was less than 100,000. However, the cultivators who came and went in the city were not easy to deal with. Ordinary true Qi realm cultivators were hard to find in the capital of a kingdom, but here, they were common. From time to time, there would even be spirit refining cultivators with vigorous Qi appearing, attracting the reverence of the crowd. For a small city under the jurisdiction of Hunyuan Heaven Sect to be able to develop to such a scale and attract so many cultivators, it didn't make sense. The only explanation was that this city was extraordinary, and Hunyuan Heaven Sect acquiesced to its existence. In fact, this was indeed the case. 100 Ocean City had the largest black market in Hunyuan Heaven Sect's coastal area. When Hunyuan Heaven Sect's true disciples, deacons, and even elder-level figures urgently needed a treasure but didn't have enough spirit stones, they would leak out some of Hunyuan Heaven Sect's specialties that couldn't be bought in ordinary places and let loose cultivators bid for them at high prices. The items were precious and it was close to the sea. If they encountered danger, they could directly escape into the sea. With all kinds of advantages, the city's black market naturally attracted everyone's attention and developed to its current scale. At this time, under Bai Lanqing's lead, Yan Huang directly found the largest chamber of commerce in the black market. After reporting the secret code of Hunyuan Heaven Sect's true disciples, the two were quickly welcomed into a single room inside the Chamber of Commerce. After waiting for a moment in the single room, a man who looked to be in his 40s and had a trace of lethargy on his body came into the room. Your family's miss isn't here? The middle-aged man's gaze paused on Bai Lanqing for a moment and said with some dissatisfaction, Mr. Qian, our miss happened to be delayed by something important, so she could only send me to bring Mr. Yen here to trade with you. Please forgive us. You should know that I don't do business with strangers. The man called Mr. Qian swept his gaze over Yan Huang. Under Bai Lanqing's somewhat troubled gaze, he slowly opened his mouth. However, your family's young miss is also an old customer. I'll let it go this time, but there won't be a next time. Thank you, Mr. Qian, for your accommodation. Bai Lanqing heaved a sigh of relief. However, Yan Huang's gaze sized up Mr. Qian. He felt that this Mr. Qian seemed somewhat familiar. You want to exchange for spiritual fire crystals, right? It just so happens that a big shot from the Hunyuan Heaven Sect is selling a lot of fire spirit crystals, a total of 100 of them. That big shot's price is only 180. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Fire spirit crystals are very rare on the market. You're lucky to encounter 100 of them this time. If you don't buy them now, you won't have another chance. 180. When Blazing Glory heard this price, he couldn't help but be surprised. This price was much lower than their initial estimate of 1 to 200. In particular, that big shot had given away 100 spiritual crystals of fire at one go. Since he was able to complete this transaction in one go, there was no need for him to waste any more time. Thus, he nodded and said, All right then. 180 pinnacle fire spirit stones, right? We have a total of 14,500 pinnacle fire spirit stones on hand. Sure. Let's go and trade. Not here? Bai Lanqing felt a little strange. 75 spiritual fire crystals isn't a small number. Moreover, 100 Ocean City isn't exactly peaceful. For safety reasons, we naturally have to keep those treasures well. Are you going to buy them or not? Don't tell me you don't have enough pinnacle fire spirit stones on hand. Let me tell you, you won't get anything good out of messing with me. Mr. Qian's expression turned cold as he spoke. Of course. Please lead the way, Mr. Qian. Yen Huang was not very familiar with the black market's rules, but he did not want to miss out on this transaction. Thus he stood up and spoke. Follow me, Mr. Qian said indifferently. Then, he led the two of them to wander aimlessly around the alleys of 100 Seas City. Your Excellency Bai Lanxing, is this Mr. Qian reliable? Yen Huang followed behind Mr. Qian, vaguely feeling that something was amiss. He should be reliable. Young Miss has been dealing with him for the past few years, and there haven't been any accidents. However, when Young Miss trades with them, they're basically small transactions. It's very rare to see a large transaction of nearly 2 million spirit stones like this. Is there anyone else who has fire spirit crystals? Bai Lanxing did not understand, but he still said, Lord Yen Huang, you want to exchange 75 fire spirit crystals in one go. It's really not a small number. If you miss out on this opportunity, you can only buy a few pieces at most. Who knows how much time you'll have to spend? Yen Huang did not know how to choose for a moment. It took him a whole hour to finish this round of searching. Just when Yen Huang was about to lose his patience, a courtyard with a closed door appeared in front of him. Seeing this courtyard, Yen Huang's eyes narrowed slightly. We were here just now. You're leading us around in circles? It's a circular formation. At this time, Mr. Qian also stopped in front of the tightly shut courtyard. As he stood in front of the door, a fog seemed to rise in the surroundings, rendering the surroundings hazy. Even if Yen Huang, a spirit refining expert, tried his best to look, he could not see more than 10 meters of the fog. This is the formation? The foundation of the Fortune Gates formation? Seeing the fog isolating the surroundings, Yen Huang's expression changed greatly. Who said only the Fortune Gate knows about formations? Mr. Qian said slowly. Mr. Qian, what do you mean by this? Could it be that you want to take advantage of us? You're also someone with status in the black market. Why would you take the risk for goods worth less than 2 million spirit stones, violate the rules of the 100 Ocean City, and bring trouble to yourself? 2 million spirit stones? 2 million spirit stones can't even buy a rank 5 divine weapon. Naturally, it's not worth my risk. But Mr. Qian's gaze fell on Yen Huang, and a trace of greed flashed in his eyes. An 8th rank son of chaos, to those cultivators who are stuck in the realm and urgently need to break through, is definitely a sky-high price. Not to mention a rank 5 divine weapon, even a rank 6 divine weapon would be worth it. Don't you think so, Mr. Yen? Or should I say, Your Excellency Yen Huang? Your Ardon's traitor, Long Ying? Yen Huang's eyes narrowed. Traitor? Long Ying's face revealed a smile that was not a smile. Swoosh. Just as Yen Huang was shaken by the news of Dragon Shadow revealing his identity, a beautiful figure floated over from the fog. In an instant, a palm landed on Yen Huang's spine, and a fine power rumbled down, shattering all the nerves in his body, causing him to be paralyzed in an instant. Looking at the beautiful figure's appearance, Yen Huang's eyes suddenly widened. In the next moment, intense pain assaulted him, and he completely fainted. Bai Lanxing's reaction to the sudden change was extremely fast, and he immediately wanted to fly out as fast as he could. Unfortunately, whether it was that woman or the exposed Long Ying, they were both divine Qi Unison experts. Just as he flew out, a blade light had already torn through the void and slashed across his throat. Blood instantly filled the air. You're too reckless. The woman who walked out from the fog didn't even glance at the dead Bai Lanxing as she spoke with a cold expression. Don't worry, we have to be careful when dealing with other sons of chaos, but absolutely no one will suspect us of this. His true identity has already been exposed, and anyone can kill him. In fact, with him as an excuse, you can even openly deal with another 7th-stage son of chaos, and you don't have to throw me out as a scapegoat anymore. Long Ying shrugged and said indifferently, Bring him back and interrogate him about the primal chaos incantation. Just this once. The woman's cold voice sounded, and then she turned and disappeared into the fog. This is the treasure that loose cultivator Golden Light collected. Sing Hui's eyes lit up slightly. There were many things in the storeroom, and many of these things had a strong Jinwu religion style, and he even saw the insignia of the Jinwu religion on some of the treasure chests. Clearly, loose cultivator Golden Light had directly moved these things over from the destroyed Jinwu religion and hadn't had time to open them. He hurried forward and headed toward the chest with the densest fire elemental energy. As he opened the chest, a fiery red or that looked like a heart appeared before him. This is a 7th stage material, the Heart of Flames. A 7th stage material could be forged into a 7th stage divine weapon that was already in the category of the Sage realm. Such a divine weapon was considered the top existence even in the 10 great sacred sects. Usually, only those grand elders or sect leaders who were always in seclusion were qualified to use it. Although the value of a 7th stage material was much lower than that of a 7th stage divine weapon, with the divine protection technique, he didn't have to worry about this problem at all. Swish. After putting away the Heart of Flames with a wave of his hand, Sing Hui hurriedly went to the other chests. When the chests opened, rich fire elemental energy immediately filled the air, causing the temperature in the hall to rise greatly. Inside the chests, there was an entire chest of fire spirit ores. Without exception, these fire spirit ores were all top-grade fire spirit ores, and there were probably no less than 10,000 of them. But this wasn't the main point. The main point was that there were a total of 6 chests of this type. That's 60,000. A branch religion actually had so many top-grade fire spirit ores. Even if it was related to the Jinwu religion's collection of fire spirit ores, it was enough to prove the wealth of the 10 great sacred sects. Compared to the 10 great sacred sects, the wealth of the Dragon Whale Island was simply not on the same level. Great Sun Essence. The most important thing is the Great Sun Essence. Sing Hui's gaze swept through the chests for a moment and soon came to the 3 chests that were most likely to contain the Great Sun Essence. As he impatiently opened one of the chests, a long-awaited pure chi once again assaulted his senses. Great Sun Essence. Looking at the Great Sun Essence emitting a blazing light, Sing Hui took a deep breath. Spirit refining realm, he could rest easy. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Chapter 137. Ching Su stowed away the essence of the sun in the box before opening the 2nd and 3rd boxes without any hesitation. The remaining 2 boxes contained a portion of Great Sun Essence. Just the 3 portions of Great Sun Essence made the trip to Golden Light Wanderer's Mansion worthwhile. With the Phoenix Feather, 3 portions of Great Sun Essence can be used as 6 portions. Even if the requirement for Great Sun Essence increases when I reach the Spirit Refining Realm, it would not be difficult for me to reach the small success of Spirit Refining Realm with these Great Sun Essences. Sing Hui kept these items in his personal space. Considering that Xan Long was still outside and that an unknown sect was sending experts in this direction, he couldn't carefully identify the rest of the items. He could only do his best to put them into his personal space. At this moment, his personal space was extremely tightly packed. Xiao. After stowing everything away, Ching Su took off and directly made his way out of the treasury. Before long, he had passed through the several hundred meters of danger zone and arrived at the entrance of the underground treasury. At this moment, Xan Long was at the entrance, making use of the geographical advantage to confront the expert from the unknown sect. Due to the short period of time, the unknown sect had sent 3 Awakening Realm experts and 1 True Chi Realm Elder. With this lineup, it would not be difficult to defeat Xan Long. If Xan Long had not been hiding at the entrance, he would have been severely injured or even killed. Audacious scoundrel! How dare you intrude into our sun-chasing sect's forbidden area and steal our sect's treasures? You deserve to die 1,000 times over for your crimes. Come out and surrender now, and we can still let you off lightly. Otherwise, when our sect master and supreme elder arrive, you won't have another chance. I advise you not to take any chances. This area has been completely sealed off by our sun-chasing sect's disciples. No matter where you escape to, don't even think about escaping from our pursuit. From above came the loud shout of the true energy boundary expert. His voice was filled with a threatening intent. However, Xen Long ignored it and made use of the geographical advantage to contend with the elders and experts of the sun-chasing sect. All right. Qing Su's voice rang out from within. A while later, he had already taken out a high-grade sword of the 3rd grade. Try it and see if it fits you. He wanted to give Xen Long a Tier 4 divine weapon as a reward for bringing him to this treasure room. However, no matter if it was the Dragon Whale Island Lord, Yun Tao, Zhuo Wuchang, Guza, Hyun Fan, or Lady Yuzhen, none of them were good at using swords. Thus, the Tier 4 divine weapon he obtained was naturally unorthodox. This is a high-grade Tier 3 divine weapon? Xen Long waved the sword in his hand and immediately felt the compatibility between the Tier 3 divine weapon and his sky rock soaring art. He said excitedly, "Young master, thank you for the reward. Watch this subordinate defeat these sun-chasing sect's disciples." As soon as he finished speaking, he grabbed his sword and charged out of the underground tunnel. In the blink of an eye, he was fighting with a true Qi Realm warrior and 3 Awakening Realm warriors. Finally, "You are no longer a coward." As the voice came from above, Xing Hui slowly walked out of the tunnel. "Elder, there's another one here. He's a true energy realm expert." At this moment, some people saw Qing Su walking over from below. When they sensed the presence of true Qi on him, all of their expressions changed drastically. True energy realm. The sun-chasing sect's elder, who was fighting with Xen Long, was distracted. Xen Long immediately seized the opportunity and stabbed 3 bloody holes in the elder's body with sword qi. "How dare you be so presumptuous? Our sun-chasing sect is a subsidiary sect of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. How dare you hurt our sun-chasing sect's people? You are an enemy of the Hunyuan Heaven sect." The true energy realm expert glared at Xen Long with rage in his eyes. "A subsidiary sect of the Hunyuan Heaven sect?" Qing Su smiled. "Let alone the fact that you're not a member of the Hunyuan Heaven sect, even if you were a core disciple, so what? So what if I'm a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect? I want to see who dares to not put my Hunyuan Heaven sect in their eyes." At this moment, a voice full of energy came from afar. The voice was not loud, but it contained an extremely powerful penetrating force. Xing Hui was slightly better, but Xen Long, who was only in the Awakening Realm, was hit by the sound wave. He could not help but let out a muffled groan as blood flowed out of his ears. Divine Qi unification? Such a brilliant method made Xing Hui's expression change slightly. He did not expect to meet a divine Qi unification realm expert in such a remote place. As Xing Hui looked towards the source of the sound, he saw an old man with fiery red hair and elegant silver hair. He looked like an immortal walking over with large strides. Behind him, there were more than a dozen figures following from afar. Among them, every one of them was in the Awakening Realm. Among them, the leader had actually reached the Spirit Refining Realm. In the setting Sun Mountain Range, cultivators in the Spirit Refining Realm could already be considered the strongest. Unfortunately, Xing Hui had roamed the sea and killed more than one divine Qi unification realm expert. Ordinary spirit refining cultivators were no longer in his eyes. After a glance, he planned to withdraw his gaze. Just as he was about to withdraw his gaze, among the dozen figures, a woman in an elegant long dress attracted his gaze. This woman was in her 20s. Her long hair draped over her shoulders, and she was an outstanding beauty. Especially when she ran, her elegant long dress fluttered in the wind, making her look like a fairy that had walked out from a painting. People could not help but be attracted by her fairy-like appearance. When Xing Hui stared at the woman seemed to have noticed Xing Hui's gaze and involuntarily looked towards him. Their gazes collided in the air. One was indifferent, the other was startled. After the startled look, it turned into surprise. It's you, Erasure Yudo?" Xing Hui looked at the woman who was gradually approaching. He did not think that he would see Erasure Yuto again under such circumstances. After a moment, he seemed to have thought of something and his gaze fell on the old man with the air of an immortal. Divine Chi Unification Realm, he was also traveling together with Erashur Yuto. In addition, these people who claimed to be from the Juri sect, there was no need to say much about this old man's identity. It was none other than Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's Elder Juri. Yutong, you know this child? Juri's gaze swept between Tsing Hui and Erashur Yuto. He was somewhat surprised. Yes. Erashur Yuto looked at Tsing Hui. She could faintly feel the pressure of a true Qi realm expert from Tsing Hui's body for a moment. Her gaze could not help but become complicated. Although she had paid special attention to Tsing Hui's various experiences over the past few months, she knew that he had killed young Master Long Quan, offended Fairy Baiyu, and was still free and unfettered despite Fairy Baiyu's revenge. However, when she saw Tsing Hui in person, she still felt somewhat unwilling in her heart. Why did she cultivate so hard all these years? For the sake of resources, she had no choice but to show off her beauty to curry favor with the disciples, deacons, and elders. Even so, she had only cultivated to the late stage of the awakening realm. There was still a long way to go before she could reach the perfect awakening realm. However, Cho Tsing Hui, a person who did not even have the qualifications to enter the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect, could rely on himself to make a name for himself in the outside world. Not only did he step into the awakening realm, but he had also cultivated true Qi early on and surpassed others to reach the second level of the immortality stage. Erashur Yuto took a deep breath and suppressed the unwillingness in her heart. She said in a deep voice, "His name is Cho Tsing Hui." Cho Tsing Hui? Elder Juri was slightly startled. Then he immediately thought of the person who embarrassed him in front of his disciples. His eyes suddenly became fierce. "You're Cho Tsing Hui? Nayland Fei's nephew? No wonder Yutong abandoned you. You're young, your cultivation is mediocre, but you're quite arrogant. How dare you not put our Hunyuan Heavenly Sect in your eyes? With your character and temper, sooner or later, you'll offend someone you can't afford to offend because of your loose tongue. In order to prevent you from bringing trouble to Nayland Fei in the future and even ruining our Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's reputation, today, I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your Aunt Nayland Fei. Lest you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth and spout nonsense." As soon as he finished speaking, Elder Juri directly attacked. He did not use any magical weapon, but the moment his empty hand reached for Tsing Hui, a majestic force twisted and distorted. It seemed to disturb the gravity around his body, making him unable to stabilize his body. Clang. Before Elder Juri could grab him, Tsing Hui suddenly unsheathed the Crimson Dragon Sword in his hand. A sharp edge mixed with a blazing heat wave erupted in an instant. Like a torrent of magma, it instantly tore apart the space affected by Elder Juri's power. Taking advantage of this opportunity, he leaped and pulled away from Elder Juri. At the same time, he used appraisal on him. Name: Juri Chaos Level, Stage 2 Attack Level, 46, Defense Level, 47, Speed Level, 48, Spirit Level, 51. Seeing this value, Tsing Hui's pupils shrank slightly. Elder Juri was actually an expert at the advanced stage of the Spirit Chi Unison stage. He was even stronger than the Dragon Whale Island Lord. Although he was not good at attacking and his killing methods were not fierce, with his background in the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect and another identity as an alchemist, he must have a divine weapon that was not inferior to his cultivation level. It was not strange for him to take out a stage 5 divine weapon like himself. With such a cultivation level, unless he used a divine art, there was no chance for him to win. And Juri was a stage 2 son of chaos. Needless to say, this chaos level must have been inherited from someone else. Moreover, it was inherited from a force that specialized in hunting and killing sons of chaos at a great price. Once he exposed the divine art and was discovered by Juri, unless he could be sure that he could kill him completely, he would inevitably bring endless disaster to himself. Thinking of this, Tsing Hui took advantage of the fact that Juri had not recovered from his sudden attack to suddenly rush towards Xen Long. He grabbed him and flew straight into the void. Good sword. I didn't expect you to have such a divine weapon. It seems that you really have a great opportunity. However, you dare to speak arrogantly and disrespect my Hunyuan heavenly sect. Leave this divine weapon behind as compensation. Elder Zhuri's eyes shone brightly as he chased after him with large strides. But Xing Hui, who flew up, did not confront him head-on. The Qingxian sword suddenly appeared under his feet, and then the sword intent in his spiritual world erupted. He broke through the sound barrier and rushed into the sky. Want to leave? Do you think you can leave without my permission? Flying sword? I have one too. Chapter 138. Swish. Zhuri stepped on the flying sword, his body overflowing with light. Then he caught up with Xing Hui and shot straight into the clouds. Elder, Lord, when they saw Qing Su and Zhuri leave swiftly one after the other, everyone seemed to be astounded. Erasure Yudo quickly reacted and commanded in a deep voice, "My master will deal with Cho Xing Hui personally. At that time, he won't be able to escape even if he has wings. Before my master captures him, we will go deep into the cave and see if there are any treasures inside. Then we will collect them and give them to my master. Only then will you be able to receive pills from my master in the next few years." The Zhuri sect's people who received the order felt a chill in their hearts and quickly responded, "Yes. We will listen to Miss Yutong's orders." Among them, the Zhuri sect's sect master called out to the elders and awakening experts to investigate the underground cave. Cho Xing Hui, looking at Xing Hui who had already disappeared into the clouds, Erasure Yudo bit her lips with a trace of regret on her face. If she hadn't tricked Xing Hui into stealing the inner disciple token and followed him to the Hunyuan Heaven sect, with their relationship and her means, wouldn't Cho Xing Hui be at her mercy? She only needed to coax him with a few words, and Cho Xing Hui would obediently give her the many resources he obtained. At that time, the one who cultivated to the true Qi realm, obtained a top divine weapon, and wielded a flying sword wouldn't be Cho Xing Hui, but Erasure Yudo. Unfortunately now, however, this regret didn't last for long before she expelled it. I, Erasure Yudo, must stand out. I already have the big stage that is the Hunyuan Heaven sect. With the help of this stage, I will eventually climb to the top and make the parents who abandoned me by the roadside and those who once looked down on me regret their foolish decisions. Young master? Zhuri, he's catching up. Put me down. I can return to the Lorraine kingdom by myself. On the flying sword, Xen Long hastily called out as he looked at the approaching chasing sun behind him. Xing Hui took a glance behind him. The distance between him and Elder Zhuri was indeed shrinking. Seeing that the chasing sun sect's people didn't catch up to them and that Elder Zhuri's real target was him and not Xen Long, he shouted in a low voice, "Be careful." After that, the flying sword slightly lowered its altitude and directly dropped Xen Long as it swept past a small forest. After putting Xen Long down, his speed suddenly increased by a notch, and he once again broke through the sky and flew far away. When Elder Zhuri saw this scene, he hesitated. However, this hesitation only lasted for a moment before it was thrown to the back of his mind. Perhaps he could choose to pursue and kill Xen Long, capture him, and force Xing Hui to hand him over to him. However, if Xing Hui didn't care about Xen Long's life at all, and took advantage of the moment when he was distracted to deal with Xen Long to escape, then Xing Hui's flying sword and level 5 divine weapon would be missed by him. I can't take any risks. In such a state of mind, he could only concentrate his mind, stimulate his spirit, and chase after Xing Hui at full speed. His speed is still a little faster than mine, Xing Hui sensed for a moment, and his expression suddenly became solemn. In terms of the grade of the flying sword, Elder Zhuri was still inferior to him. Even though he was an elder of the Hunyuan Heaven sect who was proficient in alchemy and had a rich fortune, the flying sword under his feet was only a level 4 middle-grade flying sword. However, Elder Zhuri had cultivated a powerful spirit through alchemy for many years, and his spirit was 5 levels higher than Xing Hui's, which easily made up for the difference of 1 level between the two flying swords. Moreover, the Golden Crow True Qi wasn't good at flying. Even though the flying sword was driven by spirit and true Qi, and was driven by spirit and true Qi, Xing Hui, who was only at the true Qi realm, was still inferior to Elder Zhuri, who was at the true Qi realm. In such a situation, the distance between the two was gradually narrowing at an extremely slow speed. The cultivation of the true Qi realm can't support me for a long time. Even if it consumes, it will exhaust me to death. A light flashed in Xing Hui's eyes, and he quickly understood his situation. The only way to kill Elder Juri was to use the divine art. As for the endless troubles it might bring in the future, he couldn't care so much. With a change of mind, Xing Hui gradually slowed down, looking as if his true Qi was running out. Although he had cultivated divine true Qi, and his true Qi was extremely pure, because he had used the sharpness of the level 5 divine weapon to tear apart Elder Juri's suppression, Elder Juri didn't realize that he was an elite true Qi realm cultivator, and didn't doubt that his speed was gradually slowing down. Not only that, but he also used some kind of secret technique, and his eyes flickered and shot out red light. His flying sword, which was already slightly faster than Xing Hui, increased again, and in just a few breaths, he had already caught up to Xing Hui by 100 meters. Flame Sky Mirror. Die for me. The moment Xing Hui was within his attack range, Elder Juri suddenly roared, and a round mirror burning with raging flames appeared above his head. After aiming at Xing Hui's figure, a blazing and violent light shot out from the mirror, and completely engulfed Xing Hui with a rolling heat wave. Bang! Xing Hui's body twisted, and he slashed out with all his strength. Sword Qi erupted, and collided with the flame shot out from the flame sky mirror, causing a blazing flame to explode in the void. A terrifying heat wave swept out, and the air within a radius of a few hundred meters was instantly burned and distorted. In the midst of the exploding flame, Xing Hui's body was filled with raging flames, and he fell straight to the ground like a meteor. Ah! Your path of escape ends here. Seeing that Xing Hui was heavily injured, Elder Juri's face was filled with surprise, and he rushed toward Xing Hui with his fastest speed. It was as if he could already see a rank 5 divine weapon and a higher quality flying sword waving at him. However, just as Elder Juri arrived in front of Xing Hui, and his true Qi left his body to control Xing Hui, the aura of Xing Hui, who was burning with flames, suddenly changed. A terrifying pressure that was several times stronger than before swept out from his body, and his falling figure stabilized. The crimson dragon sword in his hand shot out a dazzling flame, and in the center of the flame, a huge golden crow with a wingspan of over 100 meters let out a loud and clear cry. This is the Great Sun Golden Crow technique? Not good. Elder Juri's face changed greatly as he felt the terrifying pressure from the Great Sun Golden Crow. Without any hesitation, he crushed a piece of precious jade. Rumble! A terrifying aura that wasn't inferior to the Cyan Netherworld realm rose up the moment Elder Juri crushed the precious jade, and then a golden rock image appeared. It swept up the wind and clouds, and collided with the golden crow image that was slashing down with the crimson dragon sword. The power of the two terrifying beings exploded in the void, and it was as if two Cyan Netherworld realm experts had used all their strength to launch a thunderous attack. In an instant, it exploded into tens of thousands of rays of golden light. The blazing rays of light and the heat wave covered the sky, and it was almost impossible to open one's eyes. Xing Hui bore the brunt of the surging and blazing heat wave. He was swept up by the terrifying energy torrent, and he was almost torn into pieces. Dozens of wounds appeared on his body, and blood sprayed out into the sky. However, Elder Juri wasn't in a good state either. The rebounding force that was equivalent to the full strength of two Cyan Netherworld realm experts swept up his body, and it also made him cry out miserably. However, he was wearing a high-grade Tier 4 defensive armor that had appeared at the critical moment and fused with his energy. Even though the force of the impact was stronger than Xing Hui's, his injuries were lighter. Of course, being lighter was only a relative measure. The two of them fell in two different directions at the same time, and there was no movement for a long time. Only the terrifying and mighty torrent in the void gradually dispersed, and it shocked the nearby cultivators to the point that they fled in panic and didn't dare approach. Divine art. Divine art. It can increase one's cultivation by a level. This is the divine art that only a Tier 10 Son of Chaos can cultivate? He's actually a tier 10 son of chaos? No wonder he can repeatedly create miracles and cultivate from a penniless mortal to the true energy realm in a short few years. Moreover, he has cultivated divine-grade true energy and relied on the divine art to reach a level that isn't inferior to a spirit energy unity realm expert. If I capture a tier 10 son of chaos alive and force out his chaos formula, I'll be able to inherit it and advance to the tier 5 son of chaos. At that time, coupled with my innate talent and comprehension ability, even if my cultivation takes another step forward, it'll be very likely for me to step into the Cyan Netherworld realm. Even though Elder Juri's injuries were severe, his spirit was unprecedentedly excited. After swallowing a healing pill, his gaze suddenly turned towards Tsing Hui, and his eyes were filled with unprecedented fervor. In another direction, Tsing Hui fell to the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. At this moment he looked extremely miserable. He was like a man of blood, and some parts of his body had been torn apart by the force of the explosion. If it was an ordinary cultivator with such injuries, they would have died a long time ago. Relying on his Tier 4 recovery ability, Tsing Hui tenaciously endured it. Not only did he endure it, after enduring the most intense impact, the mysterious Tier 4 recovery ability kept appearing on his body. The powerful recovery ability unceasingly nourished his severely injured body and actually allowed his wounds to heal at a speed visible to the naked eye. In less than an hour, not only did the blood stop flowing, some of the wounds could even be seen. If this continued, his extremely severe injuries would be completely healed in less than a day. After another hour, Tsing Hui stood up with difficulty. He could guarantee that his recovery speed was even faster than Juri's. He could barely move now, but Juri definitely couldn't catch his breath. But Juri had a protective jade talisman that was obviously refined by a peak-level expert of the Blue Netherworld realm. There was no guarantee that he didn't have a second one. Moreover, the second protective jade talisman didn't even need to be refined by a peak-level expert of the Blue Netherworld realm. A protective jade talisman refined by a divine chi unity realm expert was enough to kill him while he was severely injured. At this moment, if he thought that he was infallible and wanted to kill Juri, he would only be walking into a trap. Especially, the duration of the divine art had already passed in these 2 hours. If he wanted to use it again, he would have to wait for half a month. Thinking until here, Tsing Hui turned around and flew away on his sword. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.